Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Wanna murder me, but never heard me. Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Black excellence at its finest. Yeah, using big words, but he can't define it. Then it hit him with the cannon, don't you stand behind him. It's about to get hot, watch him change the climate. He's nothing but a novice and he show his heart. Man, I think this rookie's done, sticking with a fork. Yeah, he treading water, swimming with the sharks. You will never see the light, living in the dark. The only thing he study is just information. Till I show him all his flaws in his calculation. Gotta leave his dummy dead as a demonstration. So I hit him with the cake with no hesitation. It's a wealth of knowledge you ain't never seen. Chop his body up and weigh the dead on a triple beam. Got this bully on my phone and he keep calling me. Need me to come and pick him up from another murder scene. And he's telling me, I don't know why they keep conveying me. I said we just don't keep kicking their ass into reality. JJ7000s said they want a war, but they should have already known what we were looking for. Wanna murder me, but never heard me. Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar.
All right, man. And peace and blessings. Welcome to the Lines Den. My name is JJ7000s, aka Mandinka Mali, the most feared debater on this planet. You know, before I get going, ladies and gentlemen, let me give a shout out to my wife, my queen, Jenny Hayes. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the People's Champ is back in goddamn action with the goddamn pythons out, you know, scaring these guys off. If you hear me, ladies and gentlemen, also shout out to Sister Karima, Lions Den, Nita. Can't even see me. There we go. Yeah, man. So this topic is come up back up again. You know, these guys are at it again, running around here discrediting, you know, our and all these type of fellas, man. You know what I'm saying? And then when I pop up over there for some reason, they love just throwing me off. Power. I don't know why this is twirling, man. Yeah, he want. Let me turn my camera off. Hold on. Maybe that'll do it better. He's not used to other people challenging his information because he wants to be right all the time. We're gonna go back, put a one piece to my queen. I see you know audience right there. Yeah, let me know. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me good, man. We got a lot of information to go over today in the goddamn on Den, man. You know, we making big moves behind the scenes. We got a special treat that's coming up, man. We finna get up off YouTube. I'm gonna let you know right now. We going a different route, a different direction. We ain't gonna really speak upon it until you just see it when it happened. You know, because like I said, I've outgrown the Well, can they hear me? Is it? Hold up. Is it breaking up? Can you hear me? Hello? See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Okay, tell me if you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? Put a one in the chat if you can hear the day, but I just put a one in the chat. Huh? Is it better? All right, there we go. Let me know. Let me. You be letting me know throughout the show. Say, huh? What you say, brother? Yeah. All right. So, like I say, man, I've been dealing with these. Okay, I've been dealing with pseudo killers for a little bit, man. Over I don't know, 10 years or so, and for some reason they want to push this narrative of we are not relevant when it comes to science, math, history. And he said, we can hear you, but you are breaking up. And this is crazy, man. If it's sounding all right now, maybe because it's a lot of information that we need to get out here, man. I ain't gonna sit here and cap, you know. Brother, put a one in the chat right now if you're sounding better. If it's yeah, it's y'all see this. Y'all see the title, man. Hey, look, pseudo killer Cedric Ortega's JJ7000s bag. Man, this guy right that over there, he's scared, he's frightened, he's shaking. It's like like Freddy Krueger to jump out from the closet on him. You hear me, ladies and gentlemen? Because he wants to push this Eurocentric message to our people that we are. You see what I'm saying? We didn't create nothing. We don't understand. It's always him trying to overtalk. So I had a debate with this guy, and to be honest, he got destroyed. He got destroyed, ladies and gentlemen. So what I want to do, I want to get into that information just so we can, refresh the people's memory of what really happened that day. First of all, Sergi, you didn't even build a case. You cannot come to a debate. The table of the debate was, did Christopher Columbus come to the Americas before Africans? That is the title. That means that is your claim. So that means you have to build a case. You have to show the people, like, look, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I feel that Christopher Columbus came to these Americas before anybody, before any African, before any Chinese, before anybody else. And you didn't. So I got some more new information to add to this. So hopefully we can kind of go back in time a little bit. And y'all let me know. I need a one in the chat to let me know if it's still going on. If it sound better, whatever. Jenny, what are we doing? I know Cedric want me to cease and assist right now, but buddy, you are one of the weakest links over. What's going on, man? Okay. Come what's going on. So I put on my phone to see what's going on, man. Hold up. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, David. I don't know what my wife doing. I guess she must. All right. So let's get to it. So as you can see, man, I've been fighting these guys for years now, because I really don't understand what is their agenda. I understand it, but they want to. I didn't say call. I said tell me. Just put a one in the audience, so I ain't got to keep jumping on the phone. So you saying it's breaking up again? Oh, man. Play this video. And once this video play, just put a one if you can hear it good, maybe in a two if you can. Okay, maybe so you can hear it. So let's try this. If not, I'm just going to have to read. I got a whole bunch of articles to read. Don't even trip. All right. So let's try this. Let's see. Let's get to it. All right. Let's. Yeah. This is why I ain't been really coming on too much, man, because I keep having these technical difficulties. All right. So. All right. It's coming up, y'all. Just bear with me. And I might have to just. All right. Let me know if y'all can hear this. The problem that these guys do, they prioritize. All right, hold up. Here we go. And y'all see the title, man. It's been found guilty of scientific fraud. You hear me? He's fraudulent. You see? He's fraudulent, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why he's trying to get in front of us, in front of these good people with this nonsense. I don't know what's wrong with him. All right. All right. Yeah, I see it back. All right. We're going to try this. What the fuck? All right. Test. Let me try this one more time. Let's see, hold up. Let me move me over here to the side. Okay, we move me over here. Now we're gonna try this again. I apologize. And thank you for the ones that's trying to bear with me. This is why I gotta get off YouTube. I can't take this, man. Shit, I got. They didn't even let me share my screen, man. All right. So we're gonna try this again. All right. Okay. Let me know if y'all hear this. Guys, do they prioritize weak evidence over strong evidence, ladies and gentlemen? He's not going to tell you the mutation limitations of evolutionary boundaries. He's not going to tell you about genetic gaps and human and chimp comparisons. You hear me, y'all? See, this guy right here, man, he come up here and try to use all these big words and make you think what he know what he's talking about. He don't know nothing. He know not what he say. He know not what he do. You hear me, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see. You know, I mean, the limits of observable change. How about the speciation? See, they want to see the speciation occurs by splits proven, sir. Yeah, man. So what are we gonna do, man? We're gonna get into a little bit of left where we left off last time, and then I probably show, you know, a couple of articles debunking this guy, a couple of my scholars, you know, Dr. Turk, you know, some of the top guys in the field are debunking this nonsense. You hear me? Yeah, man. Hit that like, share, and subscribe, man. Let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes. That's what we're gonna do. I don't know why he come over here with this nonsense. This is why he ran from the debate. You know, you cannot prove that non-living matter can create life. There is no absolutes. They're still trying to figure it out. And you know this, sir. So let's get into it, man. Hold on. Let me see. Where yeah. You know, I'll show you a couple of rounds of me beating him up in another debate. You know, he's my punching bag. Let's see. Is this the right one? Hold up. Wrong one, y'all. Hold up. That's around Jenny Hayes. I picked the wrong one. Picked the wrong screens. Get over here distracted. Yeah. All right. So hold up. I need the one. Oh, come on, man. I just had it. Let me see. Hold up, y'all. This ain't it either. Hold up. Ain't it? Hold up, y'all. Let me get my act in order here. Here it is right here. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Hold up. They're crashing out. What's the name of this? Hold on, I found it. Wait a minute. Save tape. Come on, man. Yeah. Okay. All right, that's the one right there. All right. Here it is. This is him crashing out, running. We got, oh, here it is. This is him crashing out, y'all. This is an excuse for running from the debate. Shout out to Apollo Bay, Ray Mary in the building, Marquise. People be having medical degrees from other countries, and when they get to Europe, they become janitors. Cab drivers. Yeah, man. Barbarians in the building. Yeah, man. This guy right here is first class joke. Talking about he a goddamn biologist. The worst one in history, y'all. The worst one in history. You hear me? Hold on. Look at this guy. So to get out, see, he made all the noise and ruckus in the back chat. Talking about, yeah, set the debate up. So I said, we're going to do a preliminary. We'll go over here. And he got mad because I added, because Sarnetta added math into the title. That is mathematically impossible for non-living matter to create life. And he got mad about that. Crying. All right, let's look at this guy, man. He's done.
Why did
this way right on the stage, huh? Everybody, and try to use words and make yourself sound more intelligent when you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Get in here and prove that non-living matter can create life. And you can't. Are you?
All right. Hey, yo, who made Cedric run?
I did.
Somebody told me Apostle did.
He already ran. He'll argue that ran off the goddamn stage. It's considered by some to be
in your vessels, because in every have not learned anything was law in the world.
Electromagnetism
from that's required inside a woman.
I think you got to do your own self.
Reduction and oxidation will always the work, and they come.
Hold up.
60s.
But he be attentive. You can't do that with saying.
Oh, he thinks that saying thing that we're missing. Not JJ. Yeah, my.
Quiet, man. Look, crash out my guys. Watch this. After I showed him all these sources and stuff, he had to think of an escape route. So he blamed Apostle for asking him a question. So he run out the building. Here you go. Look, Hugh Henry. I got PhDs up here from Princeton. Daniel Dyke. You see what I'm saying? Here goes your end notes. But what I'm saying, sir, I got so much more information to blow your goddamn coconut back. You hear me? In the Bahamas, Negro. We split you open and make a piñata. Let's keep going.
So you have no actual information. Like I told you, what JJ was going to do.
We open up the
bring you information that is going to try and undermine the scientific consensus. I brought you a PubMed article. He brings you a Discovery Institute, right? He presented no data, no way in which we are studying the process. What he did was a whole breakdown of begging the question.
Okay, we got to open up the panel now, Cedric.
Open it.
All right. Who was here first? Was it Inky or Apostle? It was Apostle. Apostle, what's your questions, brother?
Talking to JJ.
I got questions, but I got a statement real quick before my question.
Go ahead.
The statement is to Cedric.
Oh,
because he seems to not understand.
Uh-oh. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Freedom stop here. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up, yeah. Yeah, this guy's a track star.
First of all, he must not understand what sources is about peer review, articles, who wrote the article, when was it published, what's the title of the article, where I can find the article. All of that is about sourcing. That's what sourcing is. If I don't know where you got it from, how can I check to see if what you are reading, the author, about sourcing? Because anybody with a college degree, no, in order for you to have it, you had to do sourcing.
I agree. Yes. Okay. Now, ask it.
He ain't done, bro. He ain't done. You went on for 15 minutes. Let him go.
Okay, I'm not having a discussion with these.
Be quiet.
I'm gonna jump off. I made my point. I'm gonna leave. Because I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
That's not a question.
There you go, y'all.
That's a statement. If you want to go, because you can't.
Ran out the building, y'all. I told you. I mean, this is embarrassing. Get up here with this now you ready to run.
Can't stand the heat. Get the hell out.
Can't stand the heat.
Going back over there with
Shine penny loafers.
With Garfield now. And going back over there. Because we don't need to hear it over here.
Okay. There you go. It's documented on record. There you go, y'all. Y'all see him running out the goddamn building. He can't stand the heat. He can't stand the line of questioning, ladies and gentlemen. Then when he come back, he bring Unc West with him and Morpheus. He had to get bagged up.
He knew I was going to run him off the block.
All right, let me see. Now let's get back to. Hold up. I just want to show you that part before I show you
what electromagnetic.
You got your own. You see what I'm saying?
No, so that's
beautiful. Opens up what life looks like when
you went on for 30 minutes.
And how some old textbook ancestors
mechanisms. Just for people who
blood made a hemoglobin with. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you rocking out. But let me jump in so I can hit Cedric. Then you come back in and teach. All right, I'm enjoying it. He left. All right. Well, hey, brother, you got you're more than welcome to come back. But see, brother Elder Shelton and Elder Apostle, abiogenesis. Just for people who haven't really done the research, I want to explain it to y'all. Because abiogenesis is the theory that life emerged from non-living matter through natural chemical reactions. It's been an ongoing debate with scientists. And some argue that abiogenesis is a plausible explanation for the origin of life on Earth. But here's a summary of some of the key arguments against abiogenesis that I would like, that's what I want Cedric to address. The complexity of life. One of the primary challenges to abiogenesis is the complexity of life itself. Living organisms are composed of intricate systems and structures that work together to maintain life. The probability, Cedric, of such complex systems emerging through random chemical reactions is considered by some to be extremely low. You have to get up here and say, well, no, here's our research. We show that it's extremely high. This really happened. We keep it simple, bro. How about the lack of plausible mechanisms? Despite numerous attempts to propose mechanisms for abiogenesis, there is still no widely accepted explanation on how life could have emerged from non-living matter. Many proposed mechanisms have been shown to be flawed or incomplete. She said these are the simple questions that we ask. We don't have to have a degree to ask questions about information that seems to be sketchy.
Right.
Seems to be not backed by scientific or empirical evidence. These are nothing but theories and hypotheses. And then when next week, we figure something else over here, so this one wrong from last week, and 2 weeks later they come up with something else. That's instability. You putting all your eggs in one basket on this type of theories. So like I say, the lack of plausible mechanisms. Many proposed mechanisms have been shown to be flawed or incomplete, like I said. And then, like I said, the field is still searching for a coherent and plausible explanation. They're still searching for Elder Apostle, Elder Santan.
Yeah.
They're still searching.
Right.
Let me give you a couple more. Probability and statistics. The calculations of the probability of abiogenesis often yield extremely low numbers. Non-living matter can produce life. How did that happen? You got to prove that. You said you could prove it, sir. Why, like somebody said earlier, why is it still happening? Where?
Right.
There should be some new kind of creatures and species coming about on the planet every day. Y'all can't even recreate the early Earth conditions because it wasn't the same as what we live in today. And this is their problem with the theory.
Right.
See, so while some argue that some scientists argue that the vastness of the universe and the number of potential opportunities for life emerge make abiogenesis more plausible, others argue that the probability remains vastly small. How about this part? What about this? Origins of genetic information. The origin of genetic information is a critical challenge for abiogenesis. Genetic code is a complex system that allows for the storage and transmission of information, ladies and gentlemen. And it's unclear how a system could have emerged through random chemical reactions. Look at that. You see? How about this? The role of RNA, Cedric. Yeah, I know you ran. Yeah, you ran about the building, bro. Look at that. The RNA hypothesis proposed that RNA molecules played a central role in the emergence of life. However, Cedric, RNA is a complex molecule that is difficult. It's unclear. You got to sympathize, and stabilize it. See, y'all can't do that. And it's unclear how RNA could have emerged and persisted in a prebiotic environment. These are the questions that you need to come out. Wait a minute, JJ, we got the test right here to show that you was wrong. Then another thing, you have lack of evidence. While there's evidence for the existence of life on Earth, there is limited evidence for the specific mechanics of abiogenesis. Many of the experiments and simulations that attempt to demonstrate abiogenesis rely on assumptions. They rely on assumptions. They can't. You hear what I just said? And simple conditions of the early Earth. So, like I said, man, I got like 30 or 40 bullet points I can hit you upside the head that we want you to come in here and say, oh, wait, well, no, we figured this out. We figured this out. And we figured this out. And you have failed to do that. You ran out the building. You want to overtalk everybody. We listen to you, but you want to just overtalk everybody and try to use words and make yourself sound more intelligent when you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Get in here and prove that non-living matter can create life. And you can't. Are you?
All right. Hey, yo, who made Cedric run? Somebody told me Apostle did.
He's already getting beat up by me. He's already getting beat up. But you know, it's bad when they got to ask who made him run. I made him run. Apostle made him run. Suntan made him run. God dang it. And that's just what it is. You're running from the elders. You're running from the elders. I might just form a team, me, Suntan, and Apostle.
What debate I want to see that will be fire. And Apostle is scared. He's scared.
Well, okay,
I'm not scared.
I would like to see Apostle.
I would like to see that debate. Elder Suntan and Apostle. We're going to skip past these theatrics and get back to the meat and potato. He ran to come back. Oh, here you go. Look. You're going to crash out again, y'all. Then I'm going to show you how I breaks off.
And when I'm using words like metabolism, they doesn't seem to understand.
Yes, do.
Don't let him do it to you, Apostle. He trying to.
I know. I'm not paying him no mind.
Y'all scared of the top debates. I think that'll be a powerful debate.
What Twilight Zone said, Apostle Rand said out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was seeing other people saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the apostle was talking the truth and he didn't really want to hear it. You know?
He didn't want to hear the truth about sources. He didn't want to hear the truth about JJ bringing sources, at least JJ bringing authors. He didn't want to hear that. So what did he do, ladies and gentlemen? He ran his mouth, and then he ran them hard-ass coconut-eating-ass feet. That's what he did. That's what he did. That's why he about it. How come we don't ever see you in the lab, nigga? All we see is you with that damn bird and parrot. That's it. In some hotel you work at. Cleaning shirts.
I'm just saying he wanted to talk.
He was talking about
Right.
he was presenting sources and he ain't present one.
Yeah. Oh, here you go, y'all. Look, he didn't ran and then he came back. He didn't got him a lifeline. This guy's no match for me.
Please. I'll have a discussion with JJ, but I'm not going to sit up here and deal with a ad homing me because I'll.
I ain't crying. All the ad homs he just said. Let me call this guy, man. This guy ducking in the bushes. We know you watching. Hold up, man. Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. I done told him, man, hey, you ain't in my league of debates. Put you in the junior league, you know? Hey, I'll put you in the junior league, son. Where this guy at? What's his name? Cedric. Look at him, yeah. Watch it. Look up. But he ain't answer. I ain't put it on speaker. He hiding, y'all. You know what it is. Damn, man, you need to do some. You need to put you some brown lipstick on or something. And covered all this pink. You got a half a brown lip. You got a half a brown lip. Look back. Look at this guy. Come on, man. Look at yeah. Look like you've been sucking on. Look like you've been sucking on mufflers.
Ignorant old ass, and that won't be cool. So don't engage with me, Apostle, because I'm not going to be nice to you. So please let me and JJ do our thing, and you just stand down. Like, no. Like,
he asked you a question.
No, I'm not doing this with you. And again, you see why we're dealing with flim flam? Why would I debate abiogenesis when I know that it is a hypothesis within the origins of life research? I understand the limitations.
Now ain't succeeding, y'all. You better, but no, in the back chat, you said you could prove it. Now you up here succeed, y'all. I think it's conceding. Like, you know how, I give the presidency, after they lose in the votes, that, the president moves to a new guy. Yeah, I concede the presidency, some shit like that. Look at this guy.
And I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Look, there it is, crash out. Watch it.
I know where the work is today.
Now keep in mind, you can't, if you ran off, you came back in, you didn't wait your turn in order to speak, you interrupted the apostle when he was speaking. So he gonna ask you a question. Watch this guy. Watch it.
He doesn't seem to understand, know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Dude, do not address.
What is that?
Why?
It is a hypothesis within the origins of life research. I understand the limitations, and I know where the work is today.
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Dude, do not provide you with an day. Doesn't seem this work be that it is a hypothesis within the origins of life research. I understand the limitations, and I know where the work is to
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Dude, do not address me.
Why?
His bio.
Oh, my fault.
Only know where the work is to
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Do you know where the work is to
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Do you know where the work is to
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Do you know where the work is to
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Do you know where the work is to
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Do you know where the work is to
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Do you know where the work is to
Probably niggas speak another language.
Do you know where the work is to
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Do you know where the work is to
Answer me one question, Cedric.
Do you know where the work is to
Answer me one question, Cedric.
What did you got to do? What did you got to do?
A powerful debate.
I mean, what is that? Let's get to my one part, man. He just running his mouth. Look.
Explain to anyone how we come to those mathematical probabilities, JJ. And the last point, do not let Enki fool y'all that in our cells, ATP, the cell generating energy, is a nuclear reaction. It is an ionization reaction. The transfer of ions forces energy to come free, right? It's an ion reaction. It is not a nuclear synthesis happening in your body as if the atoms in your body are splitting. Like, come on, man.
All right.
I'd rather have a discussion.
All right. No. All right. We're going to set up the date.
Y'all just
set up the date. All right. I hear me.
Acknowledge for the people.
He steady want to keep talking. Set the date up, chump.
That life, the study of life, is the study or the engagement with biochemistry. Biochemistry is chemical interaction. Those chemicals are built on the elementary chart, and that is not alive, KJ. There's no hydrogen element that is alive. There is no water molecule that is alive. Water is formed by 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, and that formation is forced.
I want you to prove how it all came together. Prove it. Water, minerals, hydrogen, DNA. I mean, all that came together spontaneously out the blue and just start working together. You got to show that, sir.
By the 4 fundamental forces. It is not random.
Okay, you done. Thank you. Don't you say a goddamn word. Say a word. You done.
Answer my question, JJ. I'm asking you a question.
You done. I'm getting ready to answer it.
Yeah, Mike, because I really don't want to debate you, JJ.
Is H2O alive? Answer the question. Is water alive?
Shut up.
All right, Mandinka, he asked you a question. Mandinka, do you know his question that he asking you?
Yes. Okay. Well, what he did was just flim flam and ran the whole.
No. Do you know the question that he asked you?
He didn't ask a question.
JJ, is H2O alive?
Is H2O alive? He said.
Okay. I got that right here. Let me show you.
Yes or no, JJ?
No, it's not. Let me show you. No, it's not. But watch this. Now, I answered your question. Now, you be quiet. I want you to show us right now your source proving that non-living matter can produce life. Anything else is uncivilized. Anything
JJ,
else? No. It's
called biochemistry.
You see how
it's a discipline. Have you been to school? It's the work I do. That's the proof.
Cedric, you gotta let him go, brother.
Yeah.
We allowed you to go. Let him
That's
speak.
why he's not welcome in America. He can't even get a passport over here, you goddamn island monkey. Now I'm sick of your disrespect. You sit your coconut eating ass down somewhere when I'm trying to ask you a question. Now your slow ass said that you can prove.
All right. Y'all got to calm down with that.
I was being patient the whole time, and he kept being disrespectful.
Yeah. Let him get it out.
Shut up, then.
He looked upside the head.
Coconut goddamn eating ass lip, nigga. Be quiet. Them hard ass coconut ass feet over there.
All right, come on, man.
Well, I try to be nice. I try to be civil, but for some reason he think he earned enough goddamn respect or around here where he could just interrupt people. The last debate I was in, I beat the brakes off of you. We can show that tomorrow. Everybody over here said you got slapped around. Talk about Christopher Columbus came to the Americans before Africans. You ain't nothing but a Eurocentric fool. And this nonsense that you pushing right now, you got the burden of proof is on you. I don't care about all them little technical words you're trying to use. You better be coming in here showing us the processes of how non-living matter created life. That is not absolute. That is so many flaws. You're not going to address anything that I presented. You're going to flim-flam around and try to attack sources that you have no understanding of. Even in your own source that you read, because I wrote it down, it said problematic. They can't reproduce the original conditions of early life. Let's start there. Show us how they can do that. You can't. Don't even try to answer so we can listen to another 15-minute rant of nothingness. Like I say, so I set this debate up in 2 weeks. The title, since he don't like the mathematical improbability of life emerging from non-living matter, that's too technical for him. We can simplify it. Cedric ORTEGA can prove that non-living matter produce life. We'll keep it simple. In 2 weeks.
All right, Mandinka. Cedric, will you entertain the debate with JJ in 2 weeks?
First of all, let's clarify what we're discussing.
Yeah.
The hypothesis of age-up biogenesis is a hypothesis. It is not a theory. What are we debating? The point I made, and JJ is going to prove us right now, tonight, that biochemistry is living matter. That chemistry is living matter. Because if he doesn't understand that life is built out of non-life, if he doesn't understand that, if I need to present him a source for this discipline, that is ridiculous.
No. So he's scared to exchange sources for each round. You see how scared I got him looking, y'all? Look at him. That nigga scared straight. Look at him. This is the face of a scared man. This is Walking Dead.
It's taught in universities all over the world. It is what we use in the laboratories. Biochemistry, because we understand the nature of life. What is he talking about? What are you wanting to debate, JJ? Prove to the people right now.
Life came
Life,
I'm going to clarify the topic for you again. I said mathematical. No, dumbass keep asking the stupid ass question.
JJ, I'm asking you a simple question.
Stupid ass.
JJ, I know you're losing your mind. JJ, the conversation we were having was a simple.
Mandinka, you gotta chill. You gotta chill with the profanity, Mandinka. Come on, man. Come on, let him finish. Let him finish. Now, come on, man. We got to move forward because I'm gonna close, man. Hold on. Reverend Armin Rob McCarthy want to know, Cedric, why are you so mad? What have Apostle done to you to get you like that, brother?
It doesn't have anything to do with being mad. I choose to engage with who I think I want to engage with. I watch Apostle. Apostle has no idea what he's talking about. He's going to call me out of my name, ad hom, do all of that, and he cannot handle the pressure back. And fundamentally, he has no input in the conversation.
Let him finish. I'll let you respond.
So JJ, do us a favor. Explain to the people how chemistry is life. And how these components are alive, JJ. That's the question here. Because biochemistry is the study of chemistry. Biology is complex chemistry. Now I'm going to say it again. Biology is complex chemistry. Life emerges from chemical interaction.
All right. Let's speak.
I got you. So he's saying chemical reaction alone created life. This is what you're saying? This is what you're saying, sir? Because the whole argument in the back chat was you said that I got the screenshots. Did you not say that? So we're going to keep it. Now I'm going to explain the topic to you one more time. The mathematical improbability of life emerging from non-life matter is impossible. You scared of that title. So now I'm going to give it to you simple so people can understand. Ain't no, you go ask, I asked you this before. I said, this is the title. You said you would accept it, and now he want to get in front of here and try to talk about some biochemistry is the origins of life or whatever. I ain't never challenged no source for biochemistry. I said, what scholar was you using? What scientist was you using? That's crazy work for you to get up here and lie. Now you know you're gonna get beat up.
You a liar. Now I'm gonna go off on your bitch ass. Now I'm going
come on. Look, so now he didn't call me out my name. You know why? Because this is his way out. This is the fakest biologist on the planet, y'all. We never see him in a lab. Where's your peer review articles if she knows so much? Where's your papers? Huh? Show us some of your experiments. All we see you with that goddamn bird and dog walking around. Nigga.
No.
Building again. Look. It done ran out the goddamn building again. That's twice.
Both of y'all got to go. Both of y'all, man.
You know what, man? Come on. Hey, come on. Now you and all this million questions.
All right. First of all, we got to make sure that you're going to take on this debate. You got the floor, Morpheus.
Hold up.
Don't create life by itself, but you need water for life to be created.
Why would I entertain a conversation with this man when he is saying things that never came out of my mouth? Why would I talk to this man when he is saying things that never came out of my mouth? You see the reason why I do not want to engage with these disingenuous people?
Nothing. You said life came from nothing.
Did I say life came from nothing? I said non-living elements.
That's the same thing.
Same damn thing, you idiot.
Calm down, brother.
It is different discussions. I do not.
Everybody stop. Let me bring in Morpheus real quick so he can.
But let me just set my time and date before we got to go listen to the Morpheus and all this million questions.
All right. First of all, we got to make sure that you're going to take on this debate.
Yeah, because
I don't want to be wasting my time.
Yeah, we wasting our time. Now you're going to prove exactly like you said. I told you. There it is, y'all. The face of a running man.
Can you get it? You heard it, Todd. Waste of time. You see why it's a waste of time.
Okay, so he's not going to debate you, Mandinka.
There you go. Y'all see this? I told you. Now let's skip. I can show y'all something else. I told you, man. This guy ain't get past the church part. Emerging through.
For the spirit searches all things, yea, the deep things of God. None of you on this platform has the spirit of God to be able to understand. That's why you argue, you fuss, and you fight, but you right with it.
Yeah, right. What you doing right now, right? You're arguing and you're fussing. You're funny.
This book,
man, you right.
You will always fail.
Apostle coming out. Like, Apostle calling out, God dang go. Son, I don't want to smoke with Apostle. All right, let's get past that. Oh, come on, man. Okay, hold up, bro. Like I say, ladies and gentlemen, as y'all see, man, Cedric Hope, get the camera on me real quick. Cedric is all talk. Mm-hmm. You made the claim. Yeah, twice ran out the building. Twice. Scared to take the title. It is mathematically impossible for non-living matter to create life. Come on, bro. What you scared of? That you can prove non-living matter can produce life. So I need to see you do that, because the probability of protein formations, you got to deal with that. And see, these estimates suggest that the probability of a single functioning protein emerging through random chance is extremely low, like I said in the beginning. 1 in 10 to the 16th to the, or worse. No, that's at 164. How about genetic information? The probability of generating functional genomes through random processes is also considered to be extremely low. I got scholars that back this up. Cedric just running his mouth. And then in his article we read, you see he said problematic 4 times dealing with his own issue.
Hey, JJ, and what Morpheus said was wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah, he tried to do a leading question.
And atoms don't make up cells.
Right. You know,
cells abide substance for molecules and atoms to exist. Cells provide structure so that atoms and molecules.
Apostle, let the man speak, bro. Mute your mic. Shut up.
No, you shut up, faggot nigga.
Man.
Yeah.
Come on, men right now, man. Come on, Apostle.
You ain't got to do that.
You can't let nobody get to you like that, Apostle, man. And you're about to have a goddamn stroke, Apostle, up in here, man. That's the only reason why I'm falling back.
Listen, the problems of
that's the only reason why. Look at you. You just can't be quiet, man.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I'm falling back. Because you really ready to have a stroke up in here, man.
Right.
I see the veins popping out your neck. I see you going crazy for something you never met, a God you never met, you never spoke to, nothing.
Oh, you don't know who I spoke to. Don't do that.
Come on,
you
man.
don't know who I spoke to. I speak to him every day.
Right.
Do he speak back?
Sometimes.
That's metaphysics. That's metaphysics.
Come on, man. I don't do that when y'all doing something, man. I think Apostle and Elder Santan should team up and go against Sarnetta. They both agreeing right here. You know, I
Go ahead, Mandinka, go ahead.
Yeah, so Cedric got the problems of probability. At the heart of the issue is the problem of probability. When Babylon Dunn came on here today, he said this title is cap because they're not talking about mathematical calculation, the mathematical and probability of life emerges from non-living matter. You got to go back to the beginning, sir. We dealt with this, and Cedric didn't want this topic. He's running from it. And like I say, the problem is that they're low numbers, suggesting that the emergence of life through random chemical reactions is highly unlikely. You got to prove that. You got to go against the goddamn science and the math. The probability of a single protein molecule forming through random chance is estimated to be around 1 in 10 times 164. This is a strong, this is very low. And it becomes even more improbable when considering the complexity of the entire organism, ladies and gentlemen. Cedric's not going to deal with this. That's why he's trying to take you off topic. How about biological systems and incredibly complex with thousands of different molecules and systems working together at a highly organized manner, not just no random chance. The probability of such complex systems emerging through random chance is considered maybe virtually impossible. The human genome, for example, consists of approximately 3 billion base pairs. I said that earlier. Now, I also touched on the origin of genetic information, another challenge for abiogenesis, and the mathematical models. He got to deal with that. The role of selection and evolution. One potential, he got to deal with a lot. The primordial soup hypothesis. The primordial soup hypothesis proposed that life emerged in a mixture of organic compounds of the early Earth. However, hypothesis is not without its challenges. The concentration of organic compounds in the primordial soup is likely to have been very low, making it difficult. Could you mute your mic? Could you mute your mic, Cedric? Man, you're one of the most disrespectful guys I've met in a long time. I sit here and listen to you ramble and don't say a word. This knows that he can't deal with the information. He can't deal with being challenged. Learn from me. You see me in the beginning beginning of when I first started off, I used to do the same thing you do. That was 8 years ago, sir. So your calculations and estimates of the probability of abiogenesis vary widely depending on the assumptions and models used. But this is what you got to deal with. The protein folding, Cedric. I know you said you know about it. Estimates suggest that the probability of protein foldings into a specific structure is around 10 to the 65th. The genome emergence, the probability, this is going to bust you in your head, of a functional genome emerging through random chance, ladies and gentlemen, guess what is estimated at? To be around 1 in 10 times 150,000 power. The math model and probability of abiogenesis is a significant challenge to your theory, sir. This is why scientists continue to explore other possibilities. They do not have the answer. But you want to get in front of us, act like you got something that's absolute, and nobody else knows? You have a lack of evidence. Well, there's evidence that for the existence of life on Earth, there is limited evidence for the specific mechanisms of abiogenesis. This is why he won't take this debate, because you're going to get slapped around. Many of the experiments and stimulations that attempted to demonstrate abiogenesis rely on, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Assumptions, like a Cedric do, and simplifications, simplifying things. You see? I'm going to read you one more thing, and I'm like you say, he don't want the debate. He already ran from it.
No, let me respond to you, JJ. You're doing a dish gallop, fundamentally flawed, and you expect.
I'm going to interrupt you through your whole thing. Put him in the back.
All right. Listen, don't ask me no questions about Nepal. If you don't want me to curse your ass out or block you, do not ask me no questions about Nepal. I don't ask you questions about your girlfriend or about your wife or about your woman. Don't ask me no fucking questions about Nepal if you don't want to get blocked. None of your goddamn business where she at. That's my answer to you.
Right. Watch this. This is what you got to deal with. You got to deal with the primordial soup hypothesis, which has flaws. You got to deal with the hydrothermal vent hypothesis, which can be debunked. You got to deal with the RNA world hypothesis. The primordial soup hypothesis suggesting life emerged from non-living matter through chemical reactions. But guess what? Here's the challenge, Cedric. You can run your mouth, but he ain't gonna deal with nothing I said. I want everybody to take your time and go home and watch this on y'all, without all the, the fanfare and all that. But Cedric do not answer questions. He has no discipline, and he's a poor researcher because chemical instability. Many organic compounds are unstable and degrade quickly, sir. This is your still got his mic on mute. Problem. How about the dilution? Degrade quickly, sir. I know you heard me. Dilution problem. Be quiet. Shut your lip. Shut your pink lip. I mean, you talk too much, man. The concentration of organic compounds might be too low to support your chemical reactions. You talking about chemical reactions? You got to prove that this can happen. How about the lack of the RNA stability? RNA is unstable and proved degradation. You see? So in closing, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this. One of the primary challenges of abiogenesis is the complexity of life itself. Living organisms are composed of intricate systems and structures. I'm going to close out. 2 minutes or another. That work together to maintain life. The probability of such complex systems emerging through random chemical reaction is considered by some extremely low. The probability and statistics, calculations, they go to math of the probability of abiogenesis often yield extremely low numbers, suggesting that the emergence of life through random chemical reaction is highly unlikely. Then, like I said, we got to deal with the origins of genetic information. It's critical because the genetic code is a complex system. Cedric just wants to simplify it. He got to deal with the role of DNA. I mean, you got a lot to deal with, sir. And like I say, man, he got to deal with the probability approach. Shut your mouth. I'm almost done. Just the last paragraph, bro. Damn. The argument of abiogenesis is mathematically impossible. Let me end with this. Often destroying this guy. I told you he's not ready. He outwest you, shine boy. That's what he is. He outwest you, shine boy, y'all. Let's keep going. It was around calculations of probability, particularly regarding the emergence of complex biological molecules and systems. The probability of protein formation estimates suggest that the probability of a single fundamental protein emerging through random chance is extremely low. Like I said, 1 in 10 to the 164th. I read y'all that. What I'm saying is it is really not enough time to go over this all at once. I would like to set the debate up. Cedric said that he can prove that non-living matter can produce life. That is abiogenesis, and we're showing you all the flaws. We're showing you that it's not absolute science. It's nothing but a hypothesis, a belief. He claims he don't believe in things. Yes, you believe in a hypothesis that's going to bury your ass under a thermocouple.
All right, Global Dictator, I got you, brother. Hey, Cedric responds, and then I'm getting out of here, man.
Okay, yeah, and nobody cut me off, because now I'm going to deal with the highest level of ignorance.
All right. So y'all can see, ladies and gentlemen, this guy already ran. He don't want to smoke. Let me show you some other time where I slapped him around a couple rounds. Hold up. Let's see. Now, hold up. Hold up. This dude's my punching bag. He's my punching bag when it comes to, he know nothing about science. He's been fake in the front. Okay. Let me show you what I did to him. Here we go.
Have been relied upon in fringe theories, from ancient astronaut theories to alternative historical claims. The tactic is employed by those who wish to present themselves as legitimate experts without actually providing legitimate evidence. By presenting fabricated sources, Mandinka Mali is exploiting a common logical fallacy, the appeal to authority. This fallacy occurs when someone cites the name of an authoritative figure or a seemingly legitimate source in order to make their argument appear credible. The hope that by listing names and titles that sound legitimate, the argument itself will seem valid. However, as we all know, authority in science isn't about naming famous people or prestigious titles. Authority is about the strength of the evidence and the methodology behind the claims being made. In a genuine academic discourse, it is not the name of the researcher that matters, but the integrity of their research, their peer-reviewed publications, and the evidence that supports their conclusion. By relying on unverified sources and misusing scholarly names, Mandinka is attempting to manipulate the audience trust, assuming that most people won't investigate the authenticity of the references. But we know better. We understand that authority in science isn't about citing respected names, but about presenting rigorous, verifiable, and repeatable evidence. And without this, the argument of
4 minutes, Sam. 4 minutes. My apologies for missing that 5-minute mark.
Employing the authority fallacy can be seen across a wide range of pseudoscience. It is a tool to divert attention from the lack of actual proof, hoping to convince people to the superficial appearance of expertise. But as we've shown, when we dig deeper and examine the sources, we find that there is nothing but empty shell designed to mislead. At this point, JJ's argument is completely crumbled under the weight of reality. Round one, I've exposed the laughable claim that there's no evidence for Columbus' presence in the Americas, obliterating it with primary sources, historical consensus, and physical evidence. But rather than acknowledging his failure, what does he do? He pulled the classic cross to move by shifting the burden of proof and fabricating sources. Let's be absolutely clear. JJ7000s is not just wrong, he's actively dishonest. He throws out made up genetic evidence without a single verifiable study, expecting everyone to just take his word for it. But science doesn't work that way, JJ, and neither does history. If we had real genetic proof of pre-Columbian African presence in the Americas, it would be published in peer-reviewed journals, not in fringe blogs or cherry-picked pseudoscience. Where are these studies, JJ? Where's the verifiable evidence? Nowhere, because it doesn't exist. And let's talk about his outright fabrication of sources. This is what separates ignorance from intellectual fraud. He's not just misinformed. He's deliberately presenting false information. Hope nobody checked, but I did. His sources are either the non-existent, misrepresented, or outright distorted from real studies that do not support his claim. This is academic dishonesty at its finest. Shifting the burden of proof is the last refuge of a failed argument. He cannot prove his nonsense, so he demands I disprove instead. But that's not how logic works. If I claim aliens built the
2 minutes
to provide evidence, not demand everyone else prove me wrong. The same applies here, JJ. He made a claim. He has failed to substantiate it. So let's call it what it is. JJ7000 is a fraud. His arguments are baseless. His sources are fake, and his understanding of both history and science is an embarrassment. At this point, his only option is to double down on the nonsense or to finally admit he's out of his depth. Either way, he's already lost. With that, I yield the floor.
All right, you got 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Are you sure you want to yield?
Yeah. Let's see how JJ climbs himself out of that hole. I yield my floor.
All right, and brother, I apologize for getting the 4 minute mark instead of the 5 minute mark.
I'm a professional.
My brother. Shout out to CEDRIC for a powerful opening round. Let me reset the timer. We're going to get ready for the legendary Mandinka Mali. Mandinka, time will start when you start. Let me know if you're sharing your screen. Shout out to Naga in the building. I see King Naga. I see Sekhmet. Shout out to everybody else in the chat. Appreciate y'all's support. I see Sid and Mandinka bringing them out tonight. We got 63 people in the building. Shout out to my social media champ, Dr. the good Dr. Too Sweet in the building. I think I saw my world champ, the undefeated, undisputed, distinguished world champ, Pandemus in the building. I see my brother Eric Graham in the building as well. Shout out to everybody.
Hey, we got everybody named Mama in the building tonight, man. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Get your pen and paper. We learning tonight.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to my brother Nobody from Trust and Believe the Gospel. Forget about my brother. Mandinka, let me know when you're sharing your screen, bro. Unmute your mic as well, because if you're talking, I can't hear you.
I apologize. I'm trying to get my PowerPoint back up. Hold up. Screen. Windows. I apologize for that part. Hold up. Okay. Let's see.
All right, while we waiting on our brother, I'm gonna do what he suggested the first time and go to a commercial break.
Never mind. See, as soon as I say commercial break, that PowerPoint come up. See? See? Stores. Shout out to MVP Chris Harris. I think I saw him in the building. Time will start when you start, my brother. Unmute your mic.
Yeah, hey, I'm ready. Hey, you can trust, believe. I ain't gonna run out the building. You can bless, believe that.
Best believe the legendary Mandinka Molly ain't running.
Right, I ain't never ran from a debate. Hold up, man. Once I get it going, it's on. What up? Is that my fault?
Time start when you start, bro.
Like he ain't never had no technical problem in the debate. He ran from the whole show, y'all. We know who he is. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all see this? Can you see my screen?
Time start.
All right. Now, see, he came up here and said, like I say, his job is to prove that Christopher Columbus came to these Americas before Columbus. You sit up here arguing sources that I didn't even bring up. Now,
okay, JJ,
yeah.
Mandinka, I stopped your time at 19 minutes and 46 seconds. Yeah. Listen, I stopped your time at 19 minutes and 46 seconds. Is it any way you can make your screen bigger? Like go to where it says.
How about that?
There you go. There you go. All right. That's a lot better. All right. Time to start when you're ready.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm sorry y'all had to sit through that 20 minutes of just rambling. I ain't fake. You got my sources. And like, man, bro, you ain't did nothing, bro. You ain't taught the audience nothing. Hey, look, Columbus, I'm not going to spend too much time on Columbus because I'm going to get into my information. Now, the lack of primary accounts of Christopher Columbus himself has led many scholars to question the accuracy of the existing accounts. Where's your primaries for that? To reevaluate the traditional narrative of Columbus' life and voyages. Some of the challenges of reconstructing Columbus' life and voyages include, look at this, y'all, limited sources. As mentioned earlier, there is no primary account from Columbus himself. CEDRIC, show it to us. And many of the secondary sources are incomplete. Like he said, there's a fraction of this, that. Incomplete and biased or accurate. We dealing with biased narratives. Many of the accounts of Columbus' life and voyages were written by people who had a vested interest in promoting a particular narrative or agenda. That's that pseudo-scientific racist agenda that CEDRIC promotes. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. All right, hold up. Hold on, let me make it smaller so I can read. I want to get to my information. I'm gonna get to look. Here go one of the documents you need to deal with right here. Hold up, man. Hold up. Okay, yeah. Okay, like I said, there are no primary sources for Columbus himself that can be verified. How can we trust secondary sources that were written decades and centuries after Columbus voyages, y'all? This didn't happen just right after. Centuries after he so-called walked the earth or whatever. Why does Columbus not leave behind any written records of his voyages? We cannot find them. Why do different accounts of Columbus voyages contain conflicting information? See, I'm rebuttaling your information, sir, about Columbus, and I'm gonna get into mine, something that you didn't do. How can we reconcile the differences between dates and timelines provided in various sources? Why do some accounts describe Columbus as a hero while others portray him as a ruthless conqueror? Lack of archaeological evidence. Why is no definitive archaeological evidence been found to support the traditional narrative of Columbus voyages? I want to get past this. What role did the Catholic Church play in promoting Columbus myth? Why did Spanish monarchs support Columbus voyages, and what did they hope to gain? See, this dude is up here promoting this Columbus myth. Now let me get to my information, man. I ain't got time to be. It's your job to prove something for him, not me. When you gonna prove it? I'm already disproving. Show us some validity. Let me see where I want to start. I'm to bust this dude head, man. Come here to play with you. Anybody else out there looking around? Huh? Hold on, let me get to it. Hold up. Where we gonna start? Let's start up in here. Hold up. Let me get to where I want to start. All right. We're gonna skip that part. We'll start right here.
Do you need to stop your time?
Yeah, stop my time so I get right to where I need to get to.
All right, time is stopped at 16 minutes, 37 seconds.
Okay, cool. Hold up. Don't start going. He got some trouble, sir. Hold up. All right, let's start right here. All right, let's start right here. No, I'm gonna start right there. All right, let's start right here. Yeah, let's start right here. Not my time. See, what I'm bringing to the table, man, I'm bringing science to the table. I'm bringing geochemical analysis. See, it confirmed African mineral origins in pre-Columbian weapons and metals. I'm talking about copper from the Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia, brass from Morocco and Algeria, way before any European weapons were found in the United States. Iron, Nigerian, and can somebody mute their mic, please? Nigeria and Ghana. See, sources, peer-reviewed Journal of Archaeological Science, Latin American Antiquity, academic books that came from before Columbus, American presence in early America, institutional reports from Smithsonian, National Geographic, USGS. All right, let's keep going, bro. Let's keep going. Now, this is my side. When are you going to present your side? Huh? Here goes the summary. Pre-Columbian African presence in America is confirmed. Sickle cell genes found in ancient American remains, training back to African origins. This is what I'm bringing. African anchors discovered in the Caribbean waters, dated back to 12,000, 1400 CE, matching Mali Empire designs. African weapons found in pre-Columbian American sites, including the Ikula knives from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. How about this, y'all? The Ngomi Ngulu sickle blades from the Democratic Republic of Congo. All these are verified. The Berber daggers were found here in these lands before 1492. Didn't find no European weapons over here before 1492. Yeah, you need to get in front of us and prove that this European presence, this European established, made a genetic marker over Africans who made their genetic marker here first. Now you got to go to these Italians because you said Christopher Columbus is Italian. I got his marker right here. It ain't nowhere to be found. Early. Let's keep going. Geochemical analysis confirmed African mineral origins in pre-Columbian weapons and metals. Let's keep going, man. Pre-Columbian African presence in America is supported by genetic, archaeological, and geochemical evidence. This sounds traditional. There is a Columbus discovery of America. Let's keep going. Yeah, validation and methodology and science method. Reproducibility. See, I'm going to show you. I want y'all to document that. The University of Oxford, y'all better help them out. Isotope Laboratories, USG, Geological Survey, USGS Laboratories, data quality control precision, plus 2.5% of elements concentrates, isotope ratios, accuracies, 5 to 10%. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. The scientific method steps, observation, pre-Columbian weapons were unknown with unknown mineral origins. The question, did minerals originate from Africa? Hypothesis, yes. Geochemical analysis will reveal African mineral signatures. Prediction, African geochemical fingerprints will match weapon samples. Experimentation, geochemical analysis of weapon samples, data analysis, comparison with African geological samples, and database. I'm showing you the methods. He ain't showing you nothing. Show us the scientific method, the methodology the scientists use to study Christopher Columbus' bones and his extraction, his DNA. First of all, you have to go to 3 different grave sites to pick which one, and all of them is inconclusive. Well, this ain't even body resistant. You can't even prove where the ships is. The Nina, the Pina, and the Santorini. Like you said, them should be in museums. Let's keep it going, man. Experimentation, geochemical analysis of weapon samples. This is all this was used. The conclusion, African origins confirmed a pre-Columbian weapons and minerals. Let's keep going, man. Look at this. Now I'm finna really bust your goddamn head. I'm finna hit you with a 40 clip. Look at this. Weapons. Obsidian swords were found. Geochemical signatures match obsidian deposits from where? Ethiopia and Eritrea. Minimal compensation, 70%, 50% ALO 203. Geochemical analysis. You're seeing all the results. Look at the results, y'all. That matches 95% with African obsidian copper daggers. excuse me, copper daggers also found in Peru. Geochemical signatures. He don't know about no geochemical signatures. Match copper deposits in the Democratic Republic. Match the copper deposits in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia. Look at this, y'all. 92% match. African copper. How you gonna debunk this? Iron spearheads. Geochemical signatures match iron deposits in Nigeria and Ghana. 80% match with African iron. How they just pop up over there? Huh? Look, terracotta figurines in Ecuador. Geochemical signatures match. Clay, the clay deposits, sir, in Mali and Ghana. He ain't bringing nothing. You gonna get in front of me with this nonsense, bro. All you did is bring in definitions. Look, now I'm gonna hit you with a 40 piece. Now I'm gonna hit you. Look, here go 40 bullet points. Look, weapons and tools, obsidian swords, African origin confirmed. Copper daggers in Peru, African origin confirmed. Iron spearheads in Brazil, African origin confirmed. Bronze axe in Colombia, again, African origin confirmed. Wood spears and metal tips, Ecuador, African origin confirmed. Slingshots, African style stones. They did all the research on these. Harpoons with bone points. What are he bringing to the table to verify any artifacts, any DNA of Christopher Columbus being here before Africans? Don't talk about what you bring up a source of reference I never brought to this debate. You already lost. Look at it. Fishing hooks with plants and fibers in Mexico. Ceremonial knives with ivory handles, Peru. Look, war clubs like I'm bringing to this debate with a stone on top of your head from Brazil. Let's keep going, man. I don't know what he got in the ring with me for. Look at it. Confirmed. Now we're going to do the wood, plants, and materials, ebony wood carvings, African blood musical instruments, rosewood figurines, mahogany canoes. You got to debunk all that, sir. You ain't
10 minutes, JJ. 10 minutes.
10 minutes, good. Look, terracotta figurines, clay pipes. Hold on, let me keep going, man. Let me keep going, bro. You got a lot to deal with, sir. Huh? How about the textiles, foods, coins, jewelry, shoes? All this is tested and dated before 1492, and they all have an African origin. Cotton fabrics, indigo dyed textiles, leather sandals, domesticated guinea and fowl, navigation tools. Bro, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Huh? You want to look counter? Oh, look, you want to say, oh, your testing methods are flawed? But guess what? The rebuttal. We use methods of SRF, the SEM-EDS, DNA analysis, sir, verified by peer-reviewed journals and labs. They go none of your counters that you might come out your goddamn own mouth. Sample size is too small. Guess what? I already prepared for that rebuttal. We analyzed 400 samples across 40 categories, exceeding standard archaeological sample sizing. But you got another counter that you might say contamination could have occurred. We followed the strict protocol to prevent contamination, including glove use and sterile equipment. All right, let's keep going. Bro, you got a lot of questions to answer, sir. That's what you got. That's what you got to deal with. You ain't brought nothing about no goddamn Christopher Columbus doing anything. How about this? Counter dating methods were inaccurate. Well, the rebuttal is we use multiple dating methods, radiocarbon, thermolucents, to cross-validate results. Counter, your labs lack proper accreditation. Rebuttal, our labs are accredited by international bodies, A2LA, ISO 17025. Let's keep going, man, because I got so much to bring out today, man. Yeah, man, this dude ain't brought us nothing. Look at this. Counter, African presidents is impossible due to ocean currents. Rebuttal, historical records and model experiments prove African vessels could cross oceans, which he want to try to take away from us, you know? Let's see what else. Oh, yeah. Testing methods. Okay, now, yeah, okay, hold on. Let's keep going. Let's see. What we got here? Yeah, look at this, y'all. 20 points to express how late European settlements came to Americans. Look at this. Indigenous Americans arrived 15,000 to 20,000 years ago via land bridge from Asia. Africans arrived 2,000 to 3,000 years ago via transatlantic migration and trade. That's a very important word to listen to, because Cedric wants you to believe that we only got here through slavery. Look at this. Europeans arrived 500 to 600 years via Columbus in 1492. Look, we got 2,000, 3,000 years ago, we got documented evidence. But these Eurocentrics want to try to discredit that because they're perpetuating the myth of the pseudo-scientific racist ideology that Christopher Columbus discovered everything. Look at this. Delayed European settlements. Europeans were latecomers to the Americas compared to indigenous Americans and Africans. European settlements was delayed due to various factors, including the Black Death, the Crusades, and lack of maritime technology. When are you going to show that they maritime technology and show that they was more advanced than Africans? Bring that to the table. We're getting dog walk. How about this, man? Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And then, okay, let's see. Read this. Okay, African. Okay, I read that. Hold up. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Look. The legacy of the late European settlement. This is what he up here defending, y'all. The legacy of the late European settlement continues to impact the lives of indigenous Africans, indigenous Americans and Africans descendant communities. Historical trauma and ongoing disparities persist in areas like education, healthcare, economic opportunity. This is a little fun fact to let you know what I'm dealing with when he gets in front of me with this goddamn nonsense. Excuse my language. Now, acknowledging the late arrival of European settlement is crucial to understand the complex history of the Americas. Let's keep going, man. I got a lot.
Yes.
I got a lot.
Yes.
I got a lot for you, sir. I got a lot.
Listen, yesterday when you came over to the beach,
what we got here? Let's really break this down. Look at this, y'all. Look at it. Use of astronomical instruments. Africans use astronomical instruments such as the astrolabe to measure the position of stars and planets. These Europeans didn't understand that. How can they have beat us here? They also use a kamal, a navigational instrument used to measure the altitude of the suns and the stars. Huh? What else we got? Look, navigation by the stars. They didn't understand that. Africans navigated by the stars using the position of the constellations and to determine their direction and location. So Cedric, show us these Europeans using this type of knowledge before Africans. You won't be able to do it. You won't.
5 minutes, JJ. 5 minutes.
They knew the patterns of the stars. Europeans did not. And they used them to navigate across the ocean. Remember, there is no clear-cut conclusive evidence that Christopher Columbus did this first, and there is no clear-cut evidence that Africans. So I got to present a case. Let y'all decide. What is he doing? Where has he presented the case? He's up here running his mouth, being Eurocentric. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Now look, we understood the ocean currents. Africans had a deep understanding of ocean currents, and they used them to their advantage to navigate. They knew how to read the signs of the ocean. They used it to predict the changes of weather and currents. Let's keep going, man. They exchanged goods, ideas, and culture. How far-fetched is it harder for that to believe with other cultures? Christopher Columbus taught us everything. Come on, bro. Look at this. African maritime explorers such as Abakari II. Now, he will believe a Christopher Columbus voyage and oral tale or tradition, but he comes against the Black African tale of us coming over here for some reason. So let's just throw both of them stories, as far as the myth and the tale, and let's get down to the information backing these stories up. Where's your proof? Where's your evidence? I haven't seen you bring anything but complain about sources that I never even brought up because I didn't even go yet. Think about that, y'all. Now, they explored the coastlines of Africa and beyond, establishing trade routes and cultural exchange networks. I hope y'all paying attention, judges. So who's connecting? Who's bringing the story? Who's trying to show a valid point of their case? Cedric has failed to do that. The legacy of the African maritime culture. The legacy of the African maritime culture can be seen in many African diaspora communities around the world. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Let's go to the next one. He ain't done that. He ain't showing no haplogroup. I'm going to go all that. All that. Let's see. Here go 30 bullet points to highlight the late development of European navigation. They Johnny come lately, man. Look at this, y'all. Europeans had limited maritime experience before the 15th century. They had not undertaken significant oceanic voyages. Oh, this is like a guy who came prepared, Mr. MVP. Their maritime trade was largely confined in the Mediterranean until the 15th century. They'll call you to go. Look. Lack of advanced navigation techniques. Europeans lacked advanced navigation techniques such as celestial navigation. They knew nothing about it, y'all. These Europeans knew nothing about it. Remember, the Moors had to go over there and tell them to wash their ass and brush their teeth, which was developed by other civilizations. They Johnny come lately. They relied on dead reckoning and pilotage, which is a less accurate method. You telling me they came here first? Look at this, y'all. There was a
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Look at this, y'all. Limited understanding of the ocean. Europeans had limited understanding of the ocean. They did not understand the patterns and the currents, winds and waves. They did not have enough thorough knowledge of the tides. With the navigation, even more challenging. Hold on, what else we got? You said I got 2 minutes? Let me keep going. Look at this, y'all. They had no concept of latitude and longitude. Europeans did not have a concept of latitude or longitude until the 15th century. We see no evidence of them until after European colonization. Why is that? But we see evidence of other cultures over here way before them, particularly Africans. And he want to come up here and try to talk absolute, ain't even built the case. Look at this. Europeans didn't have no concept of latitude and longitude. They didn't understand concept of declination, which made navigation even more challenging. We understood that. Look at this. Limited use of navigational instruments. Europeans had limited access to navigation instruments such as an astrolabe, which was introduced from the Middle East. They did not know how to use this tool for navigation until the 15th century. Like, come on, bro. What is he gonna get on here and show us something? But when this guy got over here, huh? Look, no concept of the Canary currents. Europeans did not have a concept of Canary currents. You see all the different stuff I'm bringing up, judges. I want y'all to recognize that, which made navigation across the Atlantic even more challenging. They didn't understand the patterns of the Canary current, which made navigation even more challenging. I'm attacking Christopher Columbus because the name of this debate is: did Christopher Columbus, that's his name, come to the America for Africans? Has he shown us any proof? Has he presented any proof, any primary? There is no primary accounts of Christopher Columbus writing anything. There's no logs. There's no ship logs. There's no goddamn proof where he's buried. They got him 3 different goddamn places. Where is he buried?
That is time. That is time. Shout out to both of these brothers for passionate first round. A very impassioned first round. Shout out to both brothers for giving it they all in this powerful first round. That being said, before we get into the second round festivities, just a little bit of a channel promotion, if you will. Let me show y'all what we got coming up this Wednesday. Oh man, can get the thing handles between the undisputed, defeated versus series world pandemic and the success win 7 p.m. Central Time. If my man Super else going open, he break this thing as these brothers try to come up. My man. These brothers gonna try to come up with a topic for this world title debate that they have coming up. Shout out to both brothers as we move forward with the Versus Series. As I say, the Versus Series is live in 2025. And we also have another powerful debate coming up. We have our very own Najiti. Y'all know him from the Najiti Perspective, which airs weekly for the most part right here on Paradigm Shift TV 314. And he'll be taking on our brother Courtney Thompson. And this is Christian on Christian violence, family. These brothers are both Christians, but they disagree on when the Exodus occurred. This will be happening on.
It's a critical issue. Any significant African solidifying.
This is Christian.
That is fine. American representation of.
First, hold up. Dude, I can share my screen. That was like once again,
bro.
Hold up. All right, hold up.
Time hasn't started yet. Much better. All right, time start when you start.
Okay, so now I'm okay. So I'm going to bring somebody to the table, which he has not done. Bring my scholar up. You see, the presence of EM2 in Americas before Columbus has significant implications. Understanding of the people who suggested Americans were populated by single migration from Asia across the Bering Land Bridge. However, the presence of EM2 in the Americas suggests that there's been multiple migrations to the Americas. This is Afro-City. Juju, all y'all go look. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, man, this guy is no match for me. It's kind of breaking up. But, man, come on, man. This guy is trash. So it's breaking up. So I'm going to get to some of my recent sources that I have, you know, and then we're going to get up out of here, man. But, yeah, he's trash, man. He's only good when he's over there on his own channel with them because he can interrupt. He can mute you, put you in the back, but then you're on Sarnetta TV when he ran from the abiogenesis debate. I told you, Cedric, you're not in my league when it comes to these debates. I told you. Hold on. So we're going to talk about Bortolini. I think I pronounced that right. Let's see. Hold up. I want to go here with this one with the L3 in America. Hold up. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm going to skim over this. Can y'all see my screen? Okay, yeah, you can see it. Like I said, you're not in my league, buddy. Told you. That's why you better hide over there and stay over there. Uh-oh. Hold up. All right. Come on. All right, let's get to this. Okay. So the L3 was in America. This is 10,000 word evidence. All right. So the presence of the microhaplogroup L3 in pre-Columbian America context is demonstrated through multiple lines of evidence. L3 is the parent lineage of all non-African haplogroups and is the basal form are found in Africa. Proponents argue that L3 lineage identified in ancient America remains prove African presence before 1492, ladies and gentlemen. You hear that? Heterogenetically, mitochondrial DNA haplogroups in pre-Columbian natives in the Amazon region analyzed 18 skeletons and identified 1-3 haplogroups with 39% not belonging to the 4 established Native American haplogroups A, B, C, and D. These findings is interpreted as evidence of L3 and other African lineages present before what? Cedric with your dumb ass, Unc with your slow ass, Juju with your goddamn, I believe everything that Unc and Cedric say, looking ass, European contact. I told y'all don't want to fool with me. They don't want to listen because they feel safe over there in their little fishbowl. But once I catch them outside of their fishbowl and the clock is out, that's where they have problems. The clock is their biggest enemy. You hear me, ladies and gentlemen? The clock is their biggest enemy. So studies of the expansion of the mtDNA haplogroup L3 within the outer Africa date the expansions to 70 Ka, suggesting a successful migration linked to climate improvements. The same L3 lineages that expand out of Africa are argued to have reached America via Atlantic currents, preserving basal forms in isolated Amazonian groups. Carriers of the microcanonical DNA haplogroups L3 basal lineages migrated back to Africa from Asia around 70,000 years ago, indicating bidirectional movement. Proponents argue this demonstrates L3's mobility and supports its presence in the America through ancient maritime networks. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? The absence of L3 in the modern Native American database is attributed to European colonization, reducing genetic diversity. As noted in the Amazonian studies, therefore, the detection of non-ABCD haplogroups in pre-Columbian reign is taken as direct proof of L3 in ancient America, period. Let's keep going. I got more. I got other ones. Hold on. What else I got? Okay, hold up. Let's see. What else? So I told you, said you only good as you are over there because they can mute people, they can do all that. They can do that. They can mute people, kick you off. But like I said, once I catch these dudes outside of their safe zone, that's where the hold on, let me get this up here. Share this tab. Why ain't sharing? Okay, can y'all see that? I need to. Okay, there we go. All right, hold up. All right, so boy. All right, so what they failed to realize that also Africans went through the Pacific route, which they don't even understand. So critics who insist on separating Austro Malaysians from Africans ignore the outer African model itself. All non-African diversity derives from African diversity. To claim that a skull looks Malaysian but not African is so misunderstood in the evolution of humans. Malaysians are Africans. Let me highlight that for you. You see that, y'all? Who migrated east and retained ancestral features. Lago, Santa people, therefore represent an early African migration west across the Atlantic. I mean, this is over with. You want to sit up here talking about Christopher Columbus came before Africans? Your proof right here that he didn't. Following equatorial currents from Thor Hydronal demonstrated were navigational by reed boats. They came over through reed boats. They ain't have to have no big ass ship. Let's keep going, y'all. I told you, you're gonna learn today. Melanesians preserved the original human phenotype because of their ancestors left Africa approximately 70,000 years ago. See that, y'all? Via the southern coastal route, moving through Arabia, India, and the Sahel. Unlike populations that moved north into Eurasia and experienced strong selection for depiction, code adaptation, and netony, Melanesian groups remain in tropical environments similar to Africa. This environment continue to maintain dark skin, tightly curled hair, broad noses, and robust cranial architecture. Let's keep going. Similar to Africa, this environmental continuously maintain dark skin, tightly curled hair, broad noses, and robust cranial architecture. Okay, I read that. Genetic studies show. Oh, let me get that up there. See, they ain't ready for this type of high level information. Genetic studies show Melanesians carry basal Y-Chromosome haplogroups C and K and mitochondrial haplogroups M and N, which are direct descendants of what? African L3. You see what I'm saying, y'all? They ain't ready for this. The autosomal analysis revealed they retain the highest levels of ancestral African allergies outside Africa. Yes, see what I'm saying, y'all? The EDR-V370A variant common in East Asians is absent in Melanesians, while they retain ancestral variants in MC1R and SLC24A5 and SLC45A2 associated with dark pigmentation. Cranial morphology follows the same pattern. Dosapecally, I can't pronounce that one. Dosapecally, prognathism, a wide nasal apertures are prelosomorphic traits present in early Homo sapien fossils from Jebel Irhoud and Omo Kadesh. These traits persist in Melanesians because there was no selective pressure to change them. When Nebbs and Hubble found these traits in Lagoa, look at this, y'all, Lagoa Santa, they were documenting Africans in the Americas, not a separate race. This is over. We don't ever want to hear you. See, they didn't know I was gonna go this route on them, y'all. They didn't know. See, critics who insist of separating Austro-Melanesians from Africa ignore the out-of-Africa model itself. Okay, yeah, okay, that repeats itself. All right, let's go to another one. Let's go somewhere else. Hold up, what we got here? Hold up. Let's see. What's this one? All right, hold up. What's this one? All right, so is this the same one? Okay, nah. Okay, so let's start right here. So let's get to the Melanesians. Cultural evidence reinforced the connection of Melanesian outrigger canoes, bark cloth production, yam cultivation, and ancestor veneration mirror what? West African traditions. You was goddamn trouble. Linguistic substrata show click-like consonants and tonal patterns shared with Khoisan languages, the Khoisan people. They are not convergent inventions, but retentions from a common African source. You know some goddamn trouble. I told y'all don't be fooling with the good people over here at the Lions Den Academy of Education and Information. You know why? Because we bring it out. And this episode of Lions Den is brought to you by Common Sense. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. I told you Cedric was an idiot. I told you Uncle the pseudo. I told you Juju was just a go along to get along. You know what I'm saying? They want to go, they're all over there, letting these little young cats over there disrespect me, talking about suck his wiener and all that. They laughing and keep but let one of them those Europeans come over there and they know how to act. That's how you know they pseudos. This is how you know they're Eurocentric coons. I'm just keeping it real. The Atlantic crossing is feasible. The North equatorial current flows from West Africa to Brazil in 60 to 80 days. Y'all see that? Hyerdos Ra second proved reed boats can survive the voyage. See that? Ancient African mariners from Mali, Egypt, and Nubia possessed the maritime knowledge. See, they want to take this away from them. The maritime knowledge to follow these currents westward, just as their relatives followed them eastward to Melanesia. You see, we can go one way, but I guess we can't go the other. I mean, come on, man. We go in the Indian Ocean, we can go all over. They want to present something else. All right, so let's see. Okay, let's keep going. So, therefore, Melanesians are not a distinct non-African population. Let me say that one more time. Therefore, Melanesians are not a distinct non-African population. They are Africans who migrated east. Lagoa Santa people are Africans who migrated west. Both preserve the ancestral human form and both prove African presence in America before what, Cedric, with your dumb ass? Before 1492. I told you, man. Y'all know what I told you. I don't know why you think man, come on, bro. Let's keep going. I think this, let me see. Did I read this? Critics who insist, okay. So this kind of repeats itself. I think so. Yeah, it does. Okay, so hit that. Let's hit them with some more. What else they got? What else we got? Let's see. What's this one? Let's see what this one is. Let's see what this one is, ladies and gentlemen. Told you, man. Cedric ain't no match for me. This is prove the African side. Okay. I know you picking in the bushes. Share this tab instead. Let's see if it's showing. Yeah, make sure it's showing. Okay, here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Who got it? Let's see. Here we go. All right. Hold up, brother. Capricorn, brother. I don't know why you think I owe that platform over there an apology. I don't know you. I don't know what you thought, because when I'm about to explain it to you. Now, when the brother told me to run the what's the name of that platform? The Debate Coliseum. He said, JJ, I want you to run the Debate Coliseum because Nepal's not doing anything with it. Now, keep in mind, this brother got 6 or 7 other platforms. Control. Man, when I started running that for 3 weeks, man, the numbers went up. Everything went up. So you have this jealous individual sitting on the side who wants to come in and interfere with that. I'm just going to leave it at that. Even though they had a bigger channel that she could have been dealing with, instead she want to come over there while I'm doing what I got to do with 15,000 subscribers that was on that channel. I was getting the same amount of numbers with 15,000 subscribers than they was with the 150,000 that they have. Now just imagine if I had access to 150,000 subscribers. The numbers would have tripled than what I'm doing over on a platform that got 15. I don't have to go over there. I ain't got to apologize to nobody over there. Trust and believe that. I'm out being over there. Look how dry it is over there now. Look how dry. Once I got rid of Black Jesus Minister and me, come on, bro. Stop it. Man, that show is like, man, but I ain't over there knocking it, but y'all keep wanting me to apologize for something that I was stabbed in the back about. All right, so let's keep going. All right, hold up. There we go. Now, okay. Wait a minute. Hold up, y'all. Oh, come on. Hold up. Wait a minute. This popped up out the blue. What the hell? Hold up. Come on, man. Let me get this out of here. Hold up. Can y'all see that? I had a technical problem, but this the new song they made for me for the Lions Den. Shout out to Eric, the mad scientist. But I wasn't trying to get to that. I was trying to. But it didn't seem like you want to play anyway. Hold up. Hold up. Let me get that out of there. Sorry about that, y'all. Come on. Hold up. I apologize for that one. All right. Let me get back to my screen. Can y'all hear me? Loud and clear. Yeah, man. Cedric, man, I told you, bro, you're not no match for me. You only, you just like we just seen you when you were on the Come on, man. Hold up, y'all. All right, share screen. Let me try this one more time, y'all. I told you these guys ain't no match. And you definitely don't want to deal with that abiogenesis. None of them over there. You see how bust their head was. What the hell? Man. Pause. All right. Stop shit. Hold on, man. Let me get back to the information. Okay. Pause that. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold up. I ain't fall off. Okay. All right. So let's get back to that. Share screen. Where was we at? Was this it? Was it this one? Proving the African side. I think this is where I was at. Okay. Oh yeah. But I gotta move myself over. All right. Now let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. But then we're gonna have to wrap this up. I can see Cedric. You. Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know why they come. Okay. Hold up. Okay. So this proves the African side. All right. Proving the African side. Austromelanesis morphology as ancient. Now, the 2005 PNAS study by Neves and Hubble on Logol Center remains is frequently cited in mainstream literature as evidence of austromelanesis affinities. Proponents of pre-Columbian African contact argue this finding has been mislabeled. This is what they say. Austromelanesis morphology, they contend, is not a separate evolutionary lineage, but a direct retention of the original African phenotype that characterized the first antenomically modern humans who left Africa 70,000 years ago. Look at this, y'all. Physical anthropology historically classified dasocephalic vaults, broad nose, apertures pronounced alveolar pronagotism, and robust zygomic arcs of negroid traits. These are precisely the traits Neves and Hoob documented in the 81 Logol Santa skulls. See that, y'all? The study multivariate analysis placed Logol Santo cranier closer to present-day Australians, Melanesians, and sub-Saharan Africans than to later American Indians. See that? Let's keep going. So this study expands the argument across cranial, dental, genetic, and archaeological lines, demonstrating why Austromelanesis morphology should be understood as African morphology, preserved in the Americas. Section 1, morphological continuity. The traits identified at Logo Santo, cephalic vaults, indicates below 75 broad nasal apertures exceeding 28 millimeters in width, pronounced prognathism with subnasal angles from below 70 degrees, and robust facial features with heavy brow ridges were described by the earlier 20th century anthropologists such as Herdikia and Howes as characteristics of what? The African type. Neves and Hubble's principal components analysis show Lego Center specimens plotting outside the range of late Holocene Native Americans, overlapping instead with populations from Papua New Guinea and Andaman Islands and West Africa. You see this, y'all? I told you, man. I don't know why they come over here thinking they fooling with us over here in the den. This is why they be scared to let us speak. You notice how CEDRIC was acting over there, crashing out, acting a goddamn monkey fool. You know, he say a monkey, not me. Now, proponents argue that this overlaps is not coincidental. The first modern humans were African. When small groups left Africa via the southern coastal route, they carried a full suit of African traits into South Asia, Sahel, and eventually the Americas. Populations that remained relatively isolated, such as the Aboriginal Australians and Melanesians, retained their traits with minimal change. Therefore, finding Australmelanesian morphology in Brazil is equivalent to finding, guess what, y'all? African morphology. And y'all also got in trouble fooling around us, the lions then. Told you. Now, the genetic basis for these traits include variants in RUNZX2 for cranial vault shape. Remember, y'all supposed to be the scientists over there. Y'all didn't know this? The hell's going on? Either EDAR for facial flatness and DCHS2 for nasal breath. African populations show ancestor alleles at these loci, LOCI. The same alleles appear at elevated frequencies in Australmelanesians, and according to proponents in Lagoa Center DNA extracts, this genetic continuity supports the morphological argument. Let's keep going. Archaeological context strengthens the claim. Lagoa Center sites date to 11,000 to 800 BP, predating the classic Mongoloid Signat expansion. The lithic technology, rock art depiction of individuals with tightly curled hair, the burial practice show parallels to what? With African later Stone Age traditions. The absence of typical Clovis points and the presence of simple flake industries mirror what? Early African assemblages. Okay, let's keep going. So, critics who insist on separating Malaysians from Africa ignore the outer Africa model itself. Okay, we read that. It said, but not African is to misunderstand human evolution. Melanesians are Africans who migrated east and retain ancestral features. Okay, let's keep going. The implications extend beyond Brazil. Similar cranial patterns appear in early Mexico, remains from the Tailopocoya in Colombian Paleo-Indian sites, and in the earliest Caribbean burials. Each show the same suit, the Dilocaplac, I can never pronounce that one, the Dolahocapetsuli, I ain't even try it, prognosticism, broad nose. Each is dismissed by mainstream scholars as reading normal variation, but collectively they form a pattern consistent with early African presence. How about the dental evidence? Coverage, low incisor shoveling, high Carabelli's cusp expression, and four cusp lower molars characterized by both sub-Saharan Africans and Lagoa Santa detentions. Turner defied Sindante based on high shoveling, yet Lagoa Center shows shoveling frequency below 20%, matching African frequencies. This dental pattern cannot be explained by drift alone. In 10,000 years, it requires separate ancestry. How about the linguistic and cultural parallels further support the thesis? Rock art in Serra da Capivara depicts boats. Now look at this, y'all. They wrote it on the walls. They still, and these pseudos over there at the pseudo killers are still disregard this. I mean, because I don't know what's wrong with them. Look, rock art at Serra da Capivara depicts boats with high prows similar to African papyrus vessels, burial postures which flex limbs and red ochre match African later Stone Age practices. These are not random convergence, but retentions of African cultural package. In summary, Needs and Hub's 2005 findings, when read without the artificial separation of Austro-Melanesians from African, prove robust morphological proof that Africans reached Brazil in the early Holocene period. The traits are African because they originated in Africa and were carried by the first modern humans worldwide. I mean, I don't know why they want to sit here and play games with us. Okay, I read this. I think it's kind of repeating. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, I read that. Let's keep going, man. Okay, yeah. All right, so let's keep going. Just give them something. I bet they won't come back and debunk it. Okay, right, got that one. Let's see. Hold up. Hold up. Okay, dealing morphology. All right, let's see. I want to go to the you know what I want to go to? I want to go to the European hold on, let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something real quick. The European accounts of them seeing these people over here. Now, how you gonna disregard that? Them your heroes, right? This ain't about being racist. None. This is just about speaking on the truth. Speaking on what they said themselves. Here we go. So here go to European accounts of Africans before 1492. All right. You pull this up. And then what you gonna say about this? Oh, did I fall off? Hold up. Hopefully I didn't fall off. Okay. Okay, hold on. Share this tab instead. Hold up. Okay. Hey, what's up, JG? Hold up. Let me try to pull this up. Hello, testing. Hold on. Let me go to the European accounts, and then how y'all gonna debunk? How y'all gonna discredit them? It's coming out of their own mouth. It's coming out of their own mouth. Where is it at? Wait. Having technical. See, cancel. Hold up, y'all. Okay, hold up. See if it pull up. All right. Let's see if it pull up. Come on, man, pull up. Okay, there we go. All right, now let me get back to this. Hold up, y'all. Oh. Move me over there to the side. Okay, there we go. Now, this is the early European accounts of what they see. Let me know if y'all can see this. Oh, there it is. You in some goddamn trouble. All right, hit that like, share, and subscribe, man. Don't be afraid to hit that Cash App, man. All right. Come on, blow up. Come on, man. All right. Y'all see this? All right. So, on 2. Yep, it's on the screen. All right. So, this is the introduction. All right. So, European chronicles of the age of exploration did not begin with a blank continent awaiting discovery. For the first decade of Spanish writing about the New World, the most authoritative historian, conquistadors, and missionaries repeatedly recorded encounters with black-skinned people who were already present in the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. These accounts were written before any systematic transatlantic slave trade had been established by Spain and Portugal. And they describe Africans not as newly imported laborers, but as established residents, traders, warriors, and rulers. This is what they're saying. This is what they're saying, ladies and gentlemen. The sources that follow are European, not African or indigenous oral traditions alone. They include Christopher Columbus and his son Ferdinand, Bartolomé de las Casas, Peter Martí de Anguilla, Vasco Núñez del Bablo's companions, Rodrigo de Colomius and Francisco Lopez de Gomor, Father Gregorio Garcia, and later compilers such as Leo Weiner and Ivan van Sertima. See that? Who gathered these primary testimonies together. Taken together, they form a continuous documentary chain from 1493 to the early 1600s. This is when they got over here in 1492. They start writing it out in 1493. These people are already over here. Let's keep going. Christopher Columbus and the Gunin spirits of Hispaniola. The earliest European reference appears in the Journal of Christopher's Third Voyage, 1498, as preserved by Bartolomé de las Casas. The Casas records that the natives of Hispaniola told Columbus that this is what they told him. I guess they just made this up. Look at it. Look. This is what the ones y'all love. I mean, the European scholars. So let's see what they say. This is what they say, Cedric. Your dumb ass. Look at this. Right here. Let me make it bigger. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Okay. Okay. The earliest European reference in the Journal of Columbus' Third Voyage, as preserved by Bartolomé de las Casas. The Casas records that the natives of Hispaniola told Columbus there had been, look, this is what he said, y'all. There had come to Hispaniola by the south and southeast a black people who have their tops of their spears made from a metal which they call gunion, right? Columbus took the report seriously. He collected samples of the spears, sent them back to Spain for assay. The Spanish royal assayers found that the alloy to be composed of 32 parts, 18% gold, 6% silver, and 8% copper. Approximately 50% gold, 18% silver, and 25% copper. This precise ratio matched spears that had been forged in Africa, Guinea, a fact noticed by Columbus himself. Let's keep going. The purpose of the third voyage, according to Lacoste's transcription, was explicitly to test two claims. First, King John II of Portugal's assertion that canoes had been found, which set out from the coast of Guinea, that's in West Africa, and sailed to the west with merchandise. And second, the Hispaniola natives account of black people arriving from the south and southeast with gunnion-tipped spears. Columbus' son, Ferdinand, later added that his father personally saw black people when he reached the region just north of present-day Honduras during his second voyage. The elder Columbus wrote in his journal of the second voyage that the natives described traders arriving in large ships from the south bearing gold-tipped spears. I told Cedric just in the debate. These passages are crucial because they predate the establishment of Spanish slaving ports in the America. These passages are crucial because they predate the establishment of Spanish slaving ports in the Americas. In 1498, there were no African slaves of Hispaniola to confuse with visitors. The distinction made by the Taino, look at this, y'all, black people versus themselves, was recorded verbatim by Europeans who have had every reason to distinguish between indigenous populations and newcomers. There you go, Peter Martars de Anguilla, the first historian of the New World, 1457 to 1526, chaplain of Ferdinand and Isabella, and later chronicler of the Council of the Indies, compiled the first systematic history of the Americas in his decades of the New World, the Orble Novel, 1511 to 1530. He never visited Americas, but he interviewed every returning explorer that had access to official reports. Said Martyr is the Central European witness for the Darien encounter. In the decade covering Vasco Nunez del Barbalos' exploits, 1513, Martyr records about the Balboa's men descending the slopes of Corcura near Darien of Panama. What did they encounter? Several black men held captive by Native Americans. Now look at that, y'all. Now what Columbus didn't bring them over. See that? Whoa. Hold up. Okay. Now, let's read that again. So for Cedric might not hear it. I want you to hear this, Cedric and Unc and Juju. Now look at this. 1413, Martyr records that Balboa's men descending the slopes of Corcora near Panama encountered what? Several black men held captive by Native Americans. According to Francis Augustus McNutt's translation of Martyr, Peter the Martyr said that the black men seen by Balboa and his companions were shipwrecked Africans who had taken refuge in local mountains. See that, y'all? See? Look at that. This bust their head. They ain't gonna deal with this about that comes from the Europeans, right? They ain't gonna deal with that. Martyr's authority is unmatched among early Europeans. He is the first to realize the significance of the Gulf Stream and the first to publish a map of the Caribbean, 1511. His statement that these were shipwrecked Africans is not speculation. It reflects information given to him by Balboa's own officers. Man, you in some goddamn trouble. There's trouble, y'all. Look at this, y'all. Now, Vasco Nunez del Barbo and the blacks of Corcura, 1513. Balboa's 1513 crossing the Isthmus of Panama is famous for the discovery of the Pacific. Less famous is what his chroniclers saw on the way. Let's keep going. Francisco Lopez de Gormo in the Historia de Mexico, 1554, writes, Balboa asked the Indians whence they got them, the black people, but they could not tell, nor did they know more than this, that men of this color were living nearby and they were constantly waging war with them. These were the first Negroes that had been seen in the Indies. Look at that, y'all. This is coming from the Europeans. Rodrigo del Colmenares, who filed a memorial against Nunez del Barbo to the Spanish crown in 1515, corroborates. Who hablo elis sera gente negro. Look at that, negro, negra. You know what that means? That there were black people nearby. Q habe ele seca gente negra. That there were black people nearby. The timing is decisive. In September 1513, the Spanish had not yet imported Africans to Panama. You in some goddamn trouble. You want me to read that for you again, you idiot? Cedric, told you. Look at this. The timing is decisive because in September 1513, the Spanish had not imported Africans to Panama. 1513. The first licensed slave shipments to the mainland would not occur for several years. The men described were not escaped slaves. They were described by local Indians as the separate nation with whom they were at war, living in the mountains, independent of Spanish control. Y'all hear that? Machargoma and Colmenares together formed a triangulation, 3 independent European sources, all connected to Balboa's expedition, all describing the same phenomenon. See, I told y'all. Told you. You're in some damn trouble. Now, if you're watching and peeking in the bushes over there, pseudo killers, Deal with this tomorrow. I dare you. Father Gregorio Garcia, a Dominican who spent 9 years in Peru in the early 16th century, published Origen de los Indios del Nuevo Mundo, 1607. He identifies an island just off of Cartagena, Colombia, as the place where the Spanish first found black people in the New World. See that, y'all? Garcia writes in Spanish, Halaran los españoles en una esta junta a Cartagena a lagunas negros las culas estaban entre los indios como cavastias de cor kuma taban si halian ela diran. Boy, what's that? You just 7,000 can't speak those Spanish, boy. I told you. Look at this, y'all. I'm going to translate it for you. Like the Darien blacks, these were war captives among Indians, not slaves of the Spaniards. Garcia's account places black population in both the Pacific. Yeah, show us what they came one from the Pacific. On both the Pacific, Darien, and Caribbean, Cartagena sides of northern South America before large-scale slaving. Here's some goddamn trouble. I told you. Don't be fooling with 7,000 lines there. I don't know what you come over and mess with these good people for. Cabello del Babalo and the 17 black governors of Ecuador. Now we got governors hanging out. You hear me, y'all? Miguel Cabello del Blanco, writing in the late 1500s, records an even more remarkable case. He cites a group of 17 black people who, after being shipwrecked in Ecuador, become governors of an entire province of Native Americans. See? He said you don't know nothing about this type of high level information, man. You still like indigenous saying, regurgitating outdated information. You ain't regurgitating what I'm saying, because what I'm talking about is totally different than what you Negroes over there saying. But you're regurgitating somebody's nonsense. So this account preserved a 16th century manuscript describes Africans not as a marginal castaways, but as political leaders accepted by indigenous societies. It aligned with Martyr's interpretation of the Darien blacks as shipwrecked Africans who survived and integrated. See? I bet you they ain't gonna do no show on this tomorrow. I bet you they ain't. They gonna act like they ain't never seen this. I guarantee it. Now, European accounts do not exist in a vacuum. They reference African maritime knowledge that Europeans themselves acknowledge. Now look at this. See, I told you they ain't know about no maritime stuff. Not like this. So you got Shahab al-Umura and Ibn Khaldun, Arab historians who works circulated in Iberia, recorded the Mansa Abba. So these are Arab historians are recording this, that Mansa Abba Bakr II of Mali abdicated his throne in 1311 to lead a fleet of approximately 2,000 boats west across the Atlantic. But they don't want to believe that. They believe about Christopher Columbus, his Nita, Pinta, and Santa Maria. Only one returned, reporting that the others were swept away by a powerful current. See, bad weather happened, man. Shit. King John II of Portugal cited this tradition. Shout out to my queen, my wife, and my forever Jenny Hayes. I see you peeking around, girl. Love you. Now, King John II of Portugal cited this tradition when he told Columbus that canoes from Guinea sailed west with merchandise. Columbus' third voyage was in part designed to verify this Portuguese claim. Leo Weiner, Harvard professor of Slavic languages, compiled these European and Arabic sources in Africa and the discovery of America, 1920 to 1922. Weiner noted linguistic and cultural parallels between Mandinka people and the Mesoamerican symbols, including the winged serpent and the sun disk, and words with Mandi roots such as core and quibila. Let's keep going. You see what I'm saying? Now, this is the Olmec context and early European interpretations. Although the focus here is European written accounts, early European observers connected the black populations they saw is much older than American civilizations. Let's keep going. Now, Jose Megler who discovered the first Olmec colossal heads at Tres Zapatos in 1862, wrote that he was astonished by the Ethiopic type. 19th century Mexican scholars, these are Mexican scholars, such as Riva Palicio, Nicholas Leon, and Orozco Wybera argue that Black peoples occupied Mexicans before the Automi. Peter Martar's successors saw continuously. They did not believe that these were isolated shipwrecks alone. They believed they were remnants of early contacts that the natives themselves remembered. See there, y'all? Synthesis of the European testimony. When European accounts were placed chronically, a pattern emerges, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at this pattern. See that? 1493 to 1498, Columbus hears from Tainos about Black traders from the southeast with Gunnian spears, says confirmed West African metallurgical ratios. 2, 1500 to 1513, Portuguese and Spanish courts discuss regular canoe traffic from Guinea westward. 3, 1530, Balboa men see Black captives in Darien. Martar, Gomero, and the Colomernes records that locals say Black nations. Look at this, y'all. And I mean, come on, bro. These are what they making it up for. Huh? Hold up. Look at that. What they got a reason to lie for? Black nations live nearby and they waged war. This is what Martar, Gomero, and Colomernes records that locals say Black nations, look at this, live nearby and waged war. 4, early 1500s, Garcia find Blacks as war captives near Cartagena. Cabello del Barbar records Black governors of Ecuador. Y'all some goddamn trouble. This is why they want. Do you see why they don't want to get in the ring with those 7,000? I told you I'm a great researcher. Now, 1511 to 1530, Peter Martar, the official chronicle, synthesizes these reports and concludes that Darien Blacks were shipwrecked Africans. And let me highlight that for you, man. Here you go. Look at this. Darien Blacks. This is why I said you my punching bag. I told you. You ain't on. Darien Blacks were shipwrecked Africans. Come and disprove it. I dare you. Somebody Google call CEDRIC tell them to get in here. They got some explaining to do. That's what you do. Weiner re-examines Columbus, Martar, Las Costas, and Arabic sources arguing pre-Columbian African influence. None of these writers were Afrocentric polemistics. They were Spanish chaplains, Italian humanists, Portuguese kings, and conquistadors writing for imperial bureaucracies. Their consistent testimony is that what? What, Cedric? You get them damn glasses fixed. That Black-skinned peoples were in the Americas before 1492. And this is why you got beat up in that debate, because I was saying some of this stuff. But you know how it go. You know how it go. Arriving by sea from the east and south, trading metals and establishing communities distinct from both Europeans and red-brown indigenous nations. So the conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the European documentary record does not support the myth of an isolated hemisphere. From Columbus Guinean to Barbora's Corcora, from Martar decades to Garcia's Peru, the first generation of European observers repeatedly encountered what? What did they repeatedly encounter, ladies and gentlemen? Here, say it along with me. Here, Cedric, say it along with me. Repeatedly encountered Africans already in America. They recorded these encounters with precision and imperial ages, noting metallurgy, geography, warfare, and political status. As they said that some of them was governors. These accounts cross-reference across Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and later scholarly compilations, constitute a body of primary source evidence that Africans were present in the Americas before 1492, not as slaves brought by Europeans, but as navigators, traders, castaways, and rulers who arrived on their own vessels, following currents that Europeans themselves would later map and exploit. Man, come on. What else I got for you to keep busting you in your goddamn head? Let me see. I want to show y'all a video. Hold up. See if I got it. Where it at? Man, where's it at? Oh, come on, let me see. This tree of life has been. Is that? Let's see. Hold up. Okay, maybe it's this video right here. Here it is. I want to show you this one. Out of here. Share this tab instead. Come on, don't start messing up. Don't start messing up. We got more. Keep busting it, goddamn on head. Okay. Come on, play. Don't keep twirling. We need you to play. All right, this brother got a lot of good information. It's African presence in America before Columbus, and he got some of the. Hold up. Let me see if it's showing. Hold up. King J. That's King J. Oh, he came on earlier. Okay. My bad, King J. I didn't see you back there. All right, I'll see you. All right. He was in the back chat at 10 o'clock. Yeah, that's almost 2 hours ago. My bad. All right, so let's continue. All right, here we go.
Himself. First and foremost, before we get started on this next presentation,
turn it up a little bit.
I want to apologize to everyone on the volume.
Oh, shit, it is loud.
My last presentation dealing with Black nationalism. I was informed by a brother.
Get louder than this. Hold up.
They were extremely ignorant.
All right. Let's.
As you look at the as you look at what I have on the screen, at the bottom it says the African presence in America before Columbus.
Hold on, what's this? Hold on. Hold on. Hold up, y'all. Okay, hold up. Yeah, I want to show you this dude right here with his sources. So everybody knows Cedric ORTEGA has been found guilty of being a goddamn pseudo. Everybody know that. What? Wait a minute. What's this? Hold up, y'all. I might got some more over here. Let's see. Hold up. Come on, man. Hold up. I done fell off. Hold up, y'all. Can you hear me testing? Testing. Okay, hold up. Let me see. I gotta move myself over. All right. Hold on, let me see this other video I had lined up that I forgot I had in here. This is Darwin's Tree of Life that fell apart. This is me beating them up again on more of the information. Hold up, yeah, let's show this. We're gonna show that other, they just came to, let me see, where we at? All right, yeah, let's continue to beat these guys up. That's what we're gonna do, ladies and gentlemen. All right, wait a minute. Oh yeah, this is it. Let's continue to beat.
Anybody come in the nonsense, you know what?
Sleepless rooms and dreams with new solar rules. Being stripped of Mickey from Vicky and your cooler. Never do a bid. One life.
Well, man, we gotta skip past it.
Damn. I know you can't stand it, man. Oh, you got them pseudos. I got them ducking and diving. Look. Ducking and diving, slipping and sliding, scrambling, scraping. Trying to get away from the goddamn stuff. Let me stop sharing this for a second, man. Shit. Come on in here, man. You know how we do it over here at the den, man. You know how we do. We got Water Blue peeking around on security. You know, make sure ain't nobody coming in here with no nonsense. You hear me? Water Blue, you got your wrench. Anybody coming in with the nonsense, you know what to do. That's right, man. Y'all see the title. And, you know, these guys, they running around here with this goddamn Eurocentric concept, you know, and all this Eurocentricity, you know, and tightening up the Afrocentricism in the community, you know. I don't know where they find these fellas at, man. Hey, Water Blue, you got to be ashamed of yourself bringing these Uncle Westerns and Cedrics to the community. Y'all see the title, Darwin's Tree of Life. It's fall apart. Part 2 is Cedric ORTEGA still running. Your lips gunning, but your feet is running, nigga. You're shooting off at the mouth when I say your lips is gunning. But you're shooting out blanks. Y'all hear me? This guy talking about some goddamn methodological creationism. I said, man, what the hell you got going on with this? It can't explain consciousness, Cedric. It can't explain the paranormal experience, but does that mean that it's not real? Then you have all these ad hoc hypotheses, which is nothing but some made-up stuff that you got going on. That's right. I'm going to teach you today. So we're going to go through a plethora of different flaws in some of your theories, sir. And I'm going to teach you today that it's your best bet not to get in the ring with the people's champ, JJ7000s. You hear me? Let's get into some of this meat and potatoes, man. It's going to be a long day for these guys. That's right. Hold up. Let me share my screen. It's going to be a long day for you little rookies. Let me see. Hold up. What we got going on here? I got an itinerary lined up to blow your wig back. You hear me? Hey, it'll blow your wig back. Let me see. Yeah, let's see. Let's where's that video? Okay. We're gonna save that one for a little bit later. We got mathematical flaws in the theory of evolution. You know, the difficult case of RNA-only origins of life, Cedric. I mean, I got a whole itinerary for you. How about the ad hoc hypothesis? Nothing but guesswork. You know, you ain't tell us about that one. 7,000 ran up on it today. I said, oh, this is what they're doing? You hear me? I'm here to bring it out. The Lions Den Academy of Education and Information, we bring it out. Don't be yawning. I see you peeking around. Let me put the link in the chat for this damn rookie. You know, hey, you may be the champ, but I'm the people's champ. See, you may be the Lions Den champ, but I'm the people's champ. I mean, the people's is bigger than the Lions Den debate league, Lions Den organization. You just the Lions Den champ. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that Lions Den is prestigious. You know, Lions Den champion been running around this community for over 10 years, whooping ass, taking names later. See, the problem with you holding on to the belt, you want to covet it and hold on to it. Don't want to defend it. You've been the Lions Den champion for 9 months. Ain't defended the goddamn belt once. You ain't got the lead. You ain't got the nerve to pork chop lip and run your lip off when I'm doing my information. Yeah. Now you get up here right now, chump. Okay, okay, well, stay in the audience there, champ. I mean, chump. Was that? Hey, till you get in the ring, defend this goddamn belt, you are no longer you're called the chump. The Lions didn't chump. So you get up here, Now the ass woman don't count that I put on you. That was just getting you ready. I'm talking about you just you're running from goddamn James Cassell. You're running from Silk. You're running from Cosmic 9. Goddamn. Then I caught you over there yesterday. They're trying to debate some little rookie debate. That's what you do. You and I supposed to get back in the ring in 2 weeks. Now it's 1 week left. What you doing over there, man? Get up here. I said, get up here right now. Get up here and defend yourself. Yeah, man. He know better. He over there trying to challenge little rookies. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's wrong with that. Hey, I don't know what's wrong with this brother. Let me give him a little taste of some medicine over here. Yeah, you better stay in that audience. Y'all hear me, y'all? You better stay in that damn audience. And I said, don't move. You hear? Okay, so can y'all see the screen? We gonna start off with this, man. One of my guys, See, this is Larry Dossey. See, he said, you don't know nothing about Larry Dossey. He said, hold up, yeah. Okay, hold on. We got Water Blue peeking around, making comments, let's say Cedric hiding, y'all. You goddamn right, you better sit down and learn. I'm teaching. All right, hold up, y'all. Let's see what we got. Yeah, he hiding, y'all. As you can see, ladies, wait a minute. Let me open it up. Let's see. This is from Open, expand the possible sciences. Consciousness, Cedric, why materialism fails. See, that's your problem, bro. See, these guys think they can things that only can be tested. That's real and observable and all this old madness, and they disregard, spiritual type of things or things that they just can't understand. And all these scientists have took an oath, they cannot bring any creationism type of theories into their hypotheses and to their conclusions. You see, now despite the towering intellectual and technological achievements of the 20th century, science, it spells over us has been irreversibly weakened. There are at least two important reasons for this. First, scientists and laymen alike have become aware of the limits, Cedric, and shortcomings of scientific knowledge. That's what you're working with. You're working with limits and shortcomings, Cedric, when you run up on the goddamn people's channel. You hear me, rookie? Now, we realize that our perpetual hunger for spiritual understanding is real and undeniable, Cedric. See, that's why I'm here to teach you. That's why you better say teach. Now, I can either be defined away by suitable logic, nor be satisfied by viewing the universe as sterile, mechanistic, and accidental. See, that's by Roger S. Jones. Physics, that's a metaphor. See? Now, we're going to keep reading now. I'm going to bust down a couple of articles for you, a couple of videos, and then, I'm opening up the panel. Now, the most urgent issue we humans face is how we conceive ourselves. Whether as complex lumps of matter guided by so-called blind, meaningless laws of nature, or as creatures who, although physical, are also imbued with something more. Consciousness, Cedric. Your little science hypothesis and your what they call that? Thesis, it ain't gonna work today. See, we deal with the consciousness, the mind, with purpose, direction, meaning, and spirituality. That's difficult to define quality that says we are connected with something that transcends our individual self and ego, Cedric. See, I'm here to teach it. Now, every decision we make is influenced by how we answer this great question: who we are. You see, there's a growing awareness that the endless arguments between proponents of these views are more hair-splitting
Yeah, let me highlight some of this for this guy. You know, he can't keep up. Oh wait, let me see. Oh, whoop. Hold on. But anyway, there's a growing awareness here. I'm right here, y'all. That the endless argument between proponents of these two views are more than hair-splitting disagreements among experts, but they have real consequences for our future on Earth, and perhaps whether we shall have a future. Now, you have consciousness precedes being, and not the other way around. For this reason, the salvation is the human world lies nowhere else than in the human heart. Without a global revelation in the sphere of human consciousness, nothing will change for the better in the sphere of our being as humans, and the catastrophic toward which this world is heading. Being an ecological, social, demographic, or general breakdown of civilizations will be unavoidable if we are no longer threatened by world war or by the danger of absurd mountains or accumulated nuclear weapons which might blow up the world. This does not mean, Cedric, that we have definitely won. We are still capable of understanding that the only genuine backbone of all our actions, if they are to be moral, is responsibility. Responsibility is something higher than my family, my country, Cedric, my success. Responsibility to the order of being, where all our actions are indelibly recorded, and where they are properly judged. See, let's keep it going. I want you to think about what I just read you, sir. Now, the face of physicalism. See, this is what you deal with. Physicalism, Cedric. Physicalism and materialism. Physicalism is a doctrine that the real world consists simply of physical world. You know, they just think that the natural, the phenomena, the supernatural, they just exclude that for some reason, ladies and gentlemen. It's close cousins to materialisms. Physicalism and materialism, which Cedric is running around preaching this Eurocentric madness. You know, this has, African spirituality has nothing to do with none of this nonsense. See, the creed that nothing exists except matter and its movement. But then how do you explain dark matter, sir? You can't see that. Movements and modifications, as well as the doctrine of the consciousness and will, are wholly due to material agencies. These terms are often used interchangeably. Let's see, then right here, you push on number 6, to go to your source. See, I got that from the New Oxford Dictionary. Cedric don't show you sources, ladies and gentlemen. He just run his lip. See, that's another thing you're going to have to do. In 2025 going to 2026, you're going to have to do a little bit better than what you're doing. But let's keep it going. You see, that's why he ain't trying to get on stage. Shit, I wouldn't either if I was him. Let me peek to see if he's trying to get up here. I'm just going to let the beat down continue. Yeah, like I said, peace, Blizzak. Yeah, I'm just going to let the beat down continue. All right. He trying to see what he like to do. He want me to show. See, he like me to show a bunch of information because he don't have a case for anything. That's what it is. He never have a case. All right, let's get back to it. Then we're going to get just a couple of videos. Anybody saying Cedric, tell him to get up here right now. You see him in the audience, I see him in the audience, but it might be a fake Cedric Ortega. You know what I'm saying? I understand them clone pages, bro. Anyway, let me see, where was that? Okay, hold up. Now, where was we at? Now, this physicalism and materialism are cousins, right? Now, what does physicalism actually look like? It is a multifaceted view in which an astrophysical David Lindley has said, we humans are just crumbs of organic matter clinging to the surface of a tiny rock.
Cosmically, we are no more significant than the mold on the shower's curtain. See, he basically trying to watch it. Spirituality, the sense of contentness with something that transcends the individual self, is equated in this view with self-depiction, fantasy, or hallucination. In this outlook, meaning, direction, purpose, and free will are absent. As philosopher Daniel Dennett puts it, when we consider whether free will is an illusion or reality, we are looking into the abyss. What seems to confront us in a plunge of nihilism and despair. Physicalism involved the presumption. See, when you hear the word presumption, you know it's an assumption. You know they're trying to make an ass out of you and me. The presumption that the everyday idea of mind is an exaggerated, unnecessary concept. You believe these bozos that, according to linguist Karen Stolznos, thinking is just a meat taking to itself. It's generated by the brain, and when we die, unfortunately, that dies with us. We can state that categorically, or as philosopher Dennett says without a whiff of irony in his book, Consciousness Explained, we're all zombies, nobody is conscious. These some bozos. As the Nobel Prize-winning molecular biologist Frank Crick confidently proclaimed, a person's mental activities are extremely due to the behavior of nerve cells, giant glial cells, and the atoms, ions, and molecules that make up and influence them. I go to all the sources at the bottom at the end, but see, for you newcomers, see when you get the numbers right there, that means you can look up where you got it from. So you just ain't up here, you're backed up by some kind of somebody who did the research, some kind of book that's backing it up, some kind of peer-reviewed article, some kind of Chicago, some kind of citation. See, CEDRIC and them, they don't do that. You never see Unc West do citations, all these pseudo killers. And don't get me wrong, I'm all right with them, man. But when it comes to this information, they just not that creme de la creme like we is over here at the Lions Den. You hear me? Now let's keep it going. Now, similarly, astronomer Carl Sagan unequivocally stated, the brain's workings, what we sometimes call mind, are a consequence of its anatomy and physical, and nothing more. They want to limit the brain and consciousness to these scientific experts, these so-called scientific experts. See? All this comes from the age of enlightenment. They're coming up with all these new ideas and theories and thoughts, and we don't need a creator or something greater than us. And they want to just explain it with materialism and physicalism. So, and as what they say, I can't pronounce this one, y'all. Physiatrists and sleep research. There we go. Somebody who studies sleep, I guess. As a physiatrist and sleep research, Alan Hobson asserted, consciousness, like sleep, is of the brain, by the brain, and for the brain. In some physicisms, constructs, a bleak vision in which a Nobel Prize-winning physics Steve Weinberg said, the more the universe seems comprehensible, the more it seems pointless. See, these guys are just getting too big for their goddamn britches. You hear me, y'all? These are some of CEDRIC leaders. Hey, look, a few science insiders are considered religion and spirituality as relatively immune. Let me show y'all where I'm at. Hold up. Right. Hold up. Okay. A few science insiders are considered religion and spirituality as relatively immune from the corrosive influence of physicalism. For example, an astrophysics Sir Arthur Eddington remarked in his Swarthmore lecture in 1929, dismiss the idea of natural law may swallow up religion. It cannot even tackle the multiplication table single-handed. Others suggest that the intractable mind versus matter debates rest on semantic misunderstandings and is overblown. Among them is the anti-materialist British philosopher Mary Mickley, who said, this is what she said: the real trouble with the mind problem centers on the word materialism. This word itself, a relic of dualism, it suggests that there are two rival stuffs, mind and matter, competing to be seen as basics to the world. It tells us to choose one of these and reduce the other to it. This is what CEDRIC's doing. They're not two such separate stuff. They're just complex worlds containing complex creatures about whom many sorts of questions arise. Each question must be answered in its own terms. But actually, our thoughts are quite quiet, as real as our coffee cups, and matter is every bit of obscure a concept as mind. It's been difficult to find traction in this debate. The dominant physicalist view that mind and consciousness are products of brain function is served up within contemporary science, not as a modest hypothesis or humble conjecture, but as an incontrovertible fact. And anyone who disagrees is likely to be considered an apostate or a traitor to science. As consciousness researchers Edward F. Kelly of the University of Virginia, what was my spot? What's my spot? Oh, there we go. The University of Virginia states that the landmark book Beyond Physicalism, these well-meaning defenders of enlightenment. See, there you go. See, look. See, I told you, these are CEDRIC leaders, this age of enlightenment type of characters, y'all. You see, these are the guys that he got posters in his wall with they got the little white wigs on with the little, the little cruffles around the neck and the wrists, with the little Prince boots on. You know what I'm saying? With the what they call them, the knickerbockers. I'm talking about the little shorts, but they long shorts. That's what they call them. Yeah, dressed up like that. Them is heroes, ladies and gentlemen. Now, these well-meaning defenders of enlightenment, like CEDRIC's style rationalism, clearly regard themselves and current mainstream science itself as reliable, marshaling the intellectual virtues of reason and objectivity against retreating forces of irrational authority and superstition. For them, the truth of the physical view has been demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt, and to think anything different is necessary to abandon centuries of scientific progress, release the black flood of occultism, and revert to primitive supernaturalistic belief characteristic of bygone times. Now, mathematician and philosopher, let's keep it moving. All right, mathematician and philosopher. Hold up, y'all. Oh, come on, man. All right. Here we go. Mathematician and philosopher Charles Einstein has drawn attention to the condescending mindset that typifies physicalists who hold this view. The unfalsifiable worldview of the physicalist skeptic extends far beyond scientific paradigms to encompass a very clinical view of human nature. The debunker must buy into the world full of frauds, dupes, and the mentally unstable, where most people are less intelligent and less sane than he is, in which apparently honest people indulge in the most outrageous mendicity for no good reason. For the witnesses are, on the face of it, sincere. How can I account for their apparent sincerity? I have to assume either this is apparent sincerity in a cynical cover for most base fortuitous motives. They are ignorant, incapable of distinguishing truths from lies and delusions. And this is really a long article, but let me see how much more. Yeah, man, it's a lot of read. All right, I'm gonna read a little bit more. We're gonna get into a couple of these videos. All right. All right. A growing number of scientists. Hold up. There we go. All right, that's where I'm at, right? Oh. All right. A growing number of scientists are now busy rummaging around in the brain, trying to explain how the trick of consciousness is done. Researchers of the stature of Francis Crick, Daniel Dennett, Gerald Edelman, and Roger Penrose have recently come forward with a range of ingenious theories. Now look at that. Ingenious theories, okay? All purport to explain in one way or another consciousness as an epiphenomenon of physical and chemical processes taking place in the brain. And all fail utterly. They fail not because their models are insufficiently accurate or detailed, but because they are trying to do what is from the outset impossible. The truth is that no account what goes on at the mechanistic level of the brain can shed any light. Hold up. Okay. Hold up. Come on, man. I'm trying to highlight it. They ain't letting me do it. You know what? Yeah, I'm right here. All right. So the truth is that no account of what goes on at the mechanistic level of the brain can shed any light whatsoever on why consciousness exists. No theory can explain why the brain shouldn't work exactly as it does. Yet, without giving rise to the feeling we all have of what it is like to be, and there is, I believe, a very simple reason for this. The brain does not produce consciousness at all, any more than a television set creates the programs that appear on the screen. On the contrary, the brain filters and restricts consciousness, just as our sense limit the totality of experience to which we might otherwise have access. Nonetheless, the physicalist view inspires messianic confidence in its adherents, who inherently strive to extend the physicalist caliphate into every nook and cranny of life sciences. Their zeal can be unbounded. For example, philosopher Dennett is reported as saying that he would commit suicide if paranormal phenomena turned out to be real. There we go. All right. The implication that there might be room in science for a spiritual component is met with diversion. Special contempt is reserved for the possibility that humans might survive bodily death, for this would be the death knell for the mind. Equal brain assumption on which the physicalist doctrine rests. This is particularly obvious when physicalists themselves have a near-death experience, suggesting survivals following physical death. When they describe these experiences publicly, they have been bullied by their physicalist colleagues into publicly retracting any implication. I told you they signed this agreement publicly, Cedric. That means these guys have biased conclusions, biases in their hypothesis. Bullied by their physicalist colleagues into publicly retracting any implication that something might survive the death of the body. Many physicalist skeptics consider the idea of survival of bodily death so dangerous that it must be put down at all costs. These efforts can shade into deliberate cover-ups. Sanders, did you hear what I just read? These effects can shade into deliberate cover-ups. So do not be getting up here acting like all their experiment is to be tested over and over again. All this is, I mean, come on, bro. These effects can shade into deliberate cover-ups that masquerade as an effect to protect science. Harvard psychologist William James reported. Now we got him snitching from Harvard College. He's a whistleblower. Look at this. Harvard psychologist William James reported that the leading biologist once told him this. Look at this, y'all. Even if here, let me highlight it because said that like he can't see. You know. Here you go. You know, this science stuff, man, is all made up. A lot of this stuff is made up. Now, look, even if such things were true, scientists ought to band together to keep it suppressed and concealed. This is coming from Harvard University. It would undo the uniformity of nature and all the sorts of other things without which scientists cannot carry on their pursuits. In defense of their credo, like I told you, they have a credo, a creed that they have to oblige by. Or you would get ridiculed by your peers and your colleagues and even shunned. Let's keep moving. Now, let's keep it going. All right. So, physicalists often maintain that they actually prefer annihilation with physical death to any sort of survival. Longing for immortality is seen to be a defect of character, is what they think. Or a physiological sellout in people too weak will to face their impending doom. In the face of certain extermination, one should simply man up and go quietly, proudly, and bravely into the dark of the night. There is a hint of this heroic martyrdom, like a martyr, in Lord Bertrand Russell's famous comment, "I believe that when I die, I shall rot, and nothing of my ego will survive. I shall scorn to shiver with terror at the thought of annihilation." Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. All right, let's go to human cost. All right. Now, science has gone too far in breaking down man's belief in spiritual greatness and has given him the belief that he is merely as a significant animal that has arisen by chance, y'all. And necessity is an insignificant planet lost in the great cosmic immensity. The principal trouble with mankind today is that the intellectual leaders are too arrogant in their self-sufficiency. We must realize the great unknown in the material makeup and operation of our brains, in the relationship of brain to mind, in our creative imagination, and in the uniqueness of our psyche. When we think of these unknowns as well as the unknowns of how we come to be in the first place, we should be much more humble. Sir John Eccles, neuroscientist, a nobelist. Let's keep going.
All right, hold up. Let's keep going. All right, I'm just going right there. All right. Physicalism comes with enormous human costs, which I believe are vastly underestimated by the physicalist cheerleaders. Annihilation is an inescapable part of the physicalist package. Carl G. Jung and Swiss psychiatrist said the decisive question for man is he is related to something infinite or not. That is the telling question of his life. If consciousness is produced by the brain and vanishes with physical death, as physicalists insist, then any meaningful relationship to something infinite is a chimera. Jung felt so strongly about this issue that he made it a principle in his patient's therapy. As a doctor, he said, I make every effort to strengthen the belief in immortality. Novelist George Orwell was among those who decried the impact of the morbid outlook, saying the major problem of our time is the decay of belief in personal immortality. Okay. Now, let me get to something else here. Let's go here. Let's go here. All right. The evidence favoring a view of consciousness that transcends physicalism is enormous and is too vast to be described here. Several excellent summaries have recently appeared, such as Varieties of Anomalies, Experience, Examining the Scientific Evidence, Irreducible Mind Towards Psychology for the 21st Century, and as mentioned, Beyond Physicalism Toward Reconciliation of Science and Spirituality. All told the evidence for more than a century of consciousness research. Hold up. Right there. All right. So, all told, the evidence for more than a century of consciousness research shows that consciousness can do things brains cannot do. Thousands of studies show that humans can physically insert information into the environmental non-locally and also physically acquire information from the environmental non-locally. What does non-local imply? Non-locality is a concept that physics applied to the class of events whose descriptions relate to the speed of light. As physics Nick Herbert explains, a non-local connection links up to one location with another without crossing space, without decay, and without delay. These connections have three identifying characteristics, says Herbert. They are unmeditated, meaning not connecting signal is involved. Unmitigated, the strength of the correlations do not fade with increasing distance. And immediate, they are instantaneous. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Non-locality is subdivided by many physicists into three types. Type 1 is spatial non-locality. Type 2 is temporal non-locality. And type 3 locality is both spatial and temporal. But physics does not own non-locality, and physics do not have a monopoly on non-local events, non-local events, and the language that describes them. People were routinely having non-local experience millennia before quantum physics was invented in the 20th century, sir. And we are not obligated to cede non-locality to science who have chosen a nuance the term differently. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. All right, we go right there. All right. Now, there are compelling scientific, historic, and experimental reasons for believing that consciousness behaves non-locally in space and time. That it is spatically unconfinable to brain and bodies, and that it is temporally unconfinable
to the present. The evidence suggests that space and time are simply not applicable to certain operations of consciousness. This evidence overwhelmingly suggests that consciousness is both transspatial and transtemporal. That is not in space and time. That is not in space and time, Cedric. Empirical evidence shows that brains are separate, but minds are not in the domain of consciousness. Separation is not fundamental. The degree of spatial separation of individual minds, the distance that it is involved, is not important, and the connections are instantaneous or immediate. Whether the humans involved are an inch apart or presumably whether they are at the opposite ends of the universe. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Many individuals accept the evidence that minds might operate at a distance, but they rebel at the possibility that minds might function outside the present. Yet scores of experiments indicate that human consciousness can operate non-locally, not only in space, but also in time. Temporal non-locality of consciousness has been solidly demonstrated. In these studies, intentions appear to influence certain types of events in the past, even though they presumably already have happened. In addition, individuals often appear capable of acquiring acute information from the future before it has occurred, especially if this information is of an unpleasant or traumatic nature. She said you ain't ready for this type of information, sir. I know. Now look at this. A non-local picture of consciousness has emerged from these studies, in which separation of minds is not fundamental, whether in space or time. A consciousness that is non-local with respect to space is infinite and omnipresent. A consciousness that is non-local with respect to time is eternal and immortal. And if individual consciousness are boundless and boundaryless, at some level they must come together to form a whole, a universal or one mind. When we therefore describe consciousness as eternal, infinite, and one, we are not speaking symbolically or poetically. We are involving empirical science in addition to the human experience. Several top scientists have stipulated that these views are fully compatible with emerging concepts within contemporary physics. For example, George Wald said, you ain't never heard of this guy in your life. A Nobel, let me teach you about him. You hear me? And biology stated, I do not need spiritual alignment to know that I am one with the universe. This is just good physics. And the eminent physics O. Costa D. Berengard observed, today physics allows for the existence of what, Cedric? Paranormal phenomenon of telepathy, precognition, and psychokinesis. Today, physics allow for the existence. Cedric, you in some trouble. Now you're in some trouble, sir. Because all your buddies and your guys over there in your scientific community are switching over. That's right. Now look, today physics allow for the existence of paranormal phenomena of telepathy, precognition, and psychokinesis. The whole concept of non-locality in contemporary physics requires this possibility. Far from being irrational, the paranormal is postulated by today's physics emphasis in original. Let's keep it going. Let's go right there. Now, non-local consciousness is as necessary a concept as non-local subatomic particles, because non-local manifestations occur in the macroscopic human domain, just as remote correlations between particles occur in the invisible Cedric, subatomic domain. You believe in the invisible subatomic domain, sir? Yes, you do. Moreover, these distinct human-level connections appear to demonstrate the three essential characteristics of non-local subatomic events, Cedric, mentioned above. You can't have it one way, and then if it's the same way as over there, now you don't accept it because you have some kind of agenda. They appear to be unmeditated, unmitigated, and immediate. This does not mean, however, that subatomic non-locality necessity explains or underlies the non-locality of consciousness. Despite the widespread temptation to assign a quantum explanation for non-local experience of humans, caution is required, Cedric, Unc, Juju, Cube, and the rest of you little, you guys. There's no conclusive evidence that quantum non-locality causes non-local human experiences. Indeed, we may be dealing with only two correspondences in terminology. Now, I'm gonna read a little bit more, and we're gonna go to something else. All right. I didn't know this article was this long. Okay, here we go. I don't remember. Okay, being this long. All right. Many individuals may be surprised to discover the depth of this empirical evidence. There are at least 6 areas in consciousness research that resoundingly demonstrate the non-local, beyond the brain actions of consciousness. Experiments in these areas have been replicated repeatedly in labs around the world. Each are giving odds against chance of around 1 billion to 1, or combined odds against a chance of 10 to the 54th power to 1, a truly astronomical number. These areas of research are remote viewing, random number generator influence, Gansfeld, the Global Consciousness Project, presented, and precognition. This evidence is not a cosmic reworking of current materialistic, physicalistic views, but it is a radical departure of paradigm shift in current thinking. Consciousness research, Kelly summarized what is at stake, Cedric. Now, I want you to listen to this, young man. Now, listen good. I'm tired of you running around here acting like you know what you're talking about. Now, this emerging world picture is not just the same old physicalist world, which all altered expressions, but a world whose constitution is fundamentally different in ways that matter to us human beings. This vision provides an antidote to the prevailing postmodern disenchantment of the world of the meaning of human possibilities. The world of the meaning of human possibilities. This is what Cedric and them do. It's not only more accurate and fully describes our human conditions, but engenders hope and encourages human flourishing. It provides reason for us to believe that freedom is real, that our human choices matter. We just not some insignificant piece of sand on the sandbox, and that we have barely scratched the surface of human potentials. It also addresses the urgent need for a greater sense of worldwide community, interdependence, a sustainable ethos by demonstrating that under the surface, we and the world are much more extensively interconnected than previously realized. He said you don't understand this type of information. See, we strongly suspect that our individual and collective fates in these exceptionally dangerous and difficult times. Indeed, the fate of our precious planet and all of its passengers may ultimately hinge upon the wider recognition and more effective utilization of the higher states of being. He said you don't have that type of verbiage in your discussions, But anyway, this is potentially available to us, but largely ignored or even actively suppressed by our postmodern civilization with this strange combination of self-aggrandizing individualism and fundamentalism, tribalisms. All right, let's see how much more on that, man. Let's see how long this is. Hold on. All right. So I mean, this is a long article. We'll be another hour reading this, but I want to show some more stuff. Hold up. Let's get into more of the meat and potatoes. That's what we gonna do. Said you still hiding in the audience. Get up here now. We got truth and gospel, truth and believe, got the gospel in the building. That's my brother. That's my brother. I think that's my brother right there. Nobody. Yeah, that's nobody. We got Cedric. Look, we got Cedric in here peeking around, hiding. Marquis laughing at you, sir. He don't want none of this smoke. He over there challenging new debaters, rookies, acting like he active in these YouTube streets. You acting like a bully over there trying to fight these new debaters. That's what he doing. You better go get some goddamn practice in. That's what you better do to build your goddamn confidence up. You gonna need it. You hear me, ladies and gentlemen? He gonna need it. This goddamn nonsense he's spewing. Uncle Wes, you done did this guy wrong with all this misinformation you done put in his goddamn pea brain. Damn. Yeah. Get up here and tell us how the eye evolved. I want to hear it right now. You can't. Yeah, hold on. Let's get back to some more meat and potatoes, y'all. I just did a whole hour worth of reading. Hold up. Let's see. Why is science reconsidering evolution? Let's take a peek at that, y'all. Let's take a peek at that.
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana. We've already sold over 2.9 million barrels.
Causation. Aristotle actually divided.
New evidence has challenged the strictness of the Weissman barrier.
Yeah, man, I'm getting sleepy, man. So we're gonna have to finish this up tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm getting sleepy, y'all. For pseudo killers and CEDRIC takes. Stay tuned tomorrow. More proofs of, that they have an agenda. More proofs that, they just up here running their goddamn mouth. But yeah, so, yeah, we can't have that. So, yeah, man. But I go back and look at some of these old videos. I just know that, CEDRIC ain't really no match for the people's champ, man. So, wait a minute. Let me see. Did I want to show you anything else?
Welcome to the jungle where the weak ideas fall and the giants start to stumble. This ain't a game, it's a mental gladiator scene. Welcome to the game, you know exactly what I mean. Step into the ring, see the predator's eyes. It's JJ7000s, cutting through the lies. Against the greatest surgical with the speech, reaching for the truth that the others can't reach. She's the flame in the dark. Sharp as the blade, turning every shadow into light when it fades. You bring a weak argument, man, he's gonna feast, unleashing the logic, unmasking the beast in the light. We fall for the youth, exposing the fakes and defending the truth. From the top of the mountain to the valley below, we keep the platform steady, watch the wisdom grow. Like that, yeah, we never back down. Like that, yeah, truth, where's the crown? Like that, yeah, we never back down. Like that, yeah, truth. Where's the crown? Now look at the structure, the strength in the frame without the backbone. It's just a hollow name. It's Kareem of the heart, the steady hand, building up the fortress where the lions stand. She gives the vision.
Wanna murder me, but never heard me. Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Wanna murder me, but never heard me. Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Black excellence at its finest. Yeah, using big words, but he can't define it. Finna hit him with the cannon, don't you stand behind him. It's about to get hot, watch him change the climate. He's nothing but a novice and he show his heart. Man, I think this rookie's done, sticking with a fork. Yeah, he treading water, swimming with the sharks. You will never see the light, living in the dark. The only thing he study is this information. Till I show him all his flaws in his calculation. Gotta leave his dummy dead as a demonstration. So I hit him with the cake with no hesitation. It's a wealth of knowledge you ain't never seen. Chop his body up and weigh the dead on a triple beam. This got his bully on my phone and he keep calling me. Need me to come and pick him up from another murder scene. And he's telling me, I don't know why they keep debating me. I said we just don't keep kicking their ass into reality. Q-M242 said they want a war, but they should have already known that we were looking for. Wanna murder me, but never heard me. Intellectually, it's a murder scene. Claiming you a scholar, get the clock out. Claiming you a scholar.